You know, I'm actually really curious as to where Tripp got off to. I figured he'd be back by now. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to Playing the Game with the one and only Game of Pro Wrestling Triple H. And Hunter, we're going to have some fun here tonight, aren't we? We sure are, Conrad. You and Your Money came highly recommended by Bruce Pritchard, Eric Bischoff, Jim Ross, but before we get into that, Hunter, how's your dick hair doing? My what? Because if you got a busy bush down below, then you need to visit our friends over at Sack Shredder for exclusive access to the Scrote Slasher 9000. It'll shave your balls clean while only catching your pubicle sack 5 or 6 times. Manscaping is important for the ladies, folks, as is being able to empathize with them over the experience of bleeding profusely out of your private parts on a regular basis. So head over to Sack Shredder website and use our promo code TRIP for 20% off your first order. They'll even throw in some of these ball wipes, which makes it so much cleaner when your lady is going downtown. And I know y'all are trying very hard right now to imagine me not having that done to me, but damn it, you are gonna think about it because it's happening right now. Oh my God. I don't think I want my name as a promo code for that. Now, Tripp, we're talking about WrestleMania 19 today with your matchup for the World Heavyweight title against Booker T. Ah, yes, I remember it well. On that day, But first, are you flaccid in bed? The fuck? Fellas, if you're one of the many men suffering from the totally normal and not at all funny condition of erectile dysfunction, then you need to talk to our friends over at Rod Stiffingtons for access to their exclusive boner pills, the Red Rocket. That'll get your ready to rock. Just use the promo code Triple H, whose real name is Paul Levesque, to associate this man with every erection you have from now until the end of time. It was oddly specific. I don't know if I'm comfortable with. Hunter, chat me up. Rumor and innuendo says that Meltzer would report that after a storyline in which Booker seemed poised to rise up against a lot of racist promos you were cutting, you actually won the match after a pedigree, but you waited over 19 seconds to go for the pin. That's not insight, he's just reporting on what happened. And I think that, but first folks, are you worried about the bank stealing your house away? Why not let me take it instead? It's not a matter of whether I can save you money on your mortgage, it's about how quickly I send the Harris brothers to your house to break your legs when you miss a payment. Just use the promo code Triple H supports this wholeheartedly and can be named as a defendant in any lawsuit and book your consultation today. Okay, this is getting a little ridiculous, man. I thought your whole thing was ad-free shows. Hunter, is it safe to say that this feud with Booker T was retroactively inspired by Tony Khan's pushing to Swerve Strickland, only he did it way better than you did as he does all things? What? No, that's not safe to say. That match was, you liar! All right, I'm done. Sean, deliver the package. Who the hell could that be? Ah, there's a package here. Oh, what the hell? Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to Tooney Talk Wrestling here on... I'm sorry, folks. It is in no way Conrad Thompson. Hello, it is Tuesday night, and you all know what that means. It means it is time for Tooney Talk Wrestling. Folks, I am Marvin, and I am the Movie Monster, and I am thrilled to welcome you all at this earlier time, for a great panel here tonight to talk everything wrestling under the sun. First of all, let me introduce our special guest this week from the Cafe De Rene podcast with Renee Dupree. Please welcome all the way from the UK, James.
Hi lads, thanks for having me. Been watching these shows lately and I'm surprised no one picked up on your Ric Flair impression last week. It sounded distinctively like Eddie Murphy. So every time you
He's
do an
like Eddie
impression, I couldn't
Murphy.
help but think of Eddie Murphy. It was
Oh my God,
hilarious.
it kind of is. It kind of is like Eddie Murphy now
Kinda,
that
it
I think
was.
Oh my God, Kevin Apollo, that impression has been a staple for quite some time. Did you ever put Eddie Murphy as the?
We're just doing Donkey and a Ric Flair robe.
Of course, folks, joining us as always from American Coliseum Wrestling, our good friend, the American Way himself, Kevin Apollo. Once again, bringing in one of the tiniest tank tops known to man to make us all feel ashamed of our bodies. And folks, welcome from the bowels of Twitter, our good friend, Awful Wrestling.
What's happening?
I just like to think that like people think of you as like the other side thinks of you as just this like demon that like dwells in like the hell of Twitter and just pops up to like snipe at AEW and jump back down in.
Well, it's raining under the bridge right now, so
Exactly. And folks, also back by popular demand, a good friend, Disciplinary Committee, aka Dis. He is here to be on the panel tonight and to moderate the chat. Dis, welcome back for another week of Tooney Talk Wrestling.
Thank you. I missed last week, but it feels good to be back. Got this thing going, trying this out. Hopefully it's okay.
Yeah, you look a little different this week. I noticed. Less
Yeah,
like a still image and more like a VTuber. It's not just for 14-year-old girls, folks. VTubing.
You don't know that I'm not a 14-year-old girl, or I don't identify as a 14-year-old girl, honestly.
Don't even start with that. Don't even. Let's not get down that road. Folks, checking in right away with Super Chats, our buddy Eastside Reviews. Welcome back, buddy. He says, good afternoon, lads. Jey winning was the right choice. No need to rush Ilja Gunther, and you have to throw Jey bones with him being Raw's top face. I guess that's where we're going to start off this week. Jumping right in. And thank you so much for the Super Chat Eastside Reviews. Now, I saw this coming a mile away because, Dragunov, yes, he's a great NXT call-up. It would have been a huge upset. But if this was originally as it was supposed to be, and it was him and Drew, he was definitely losing to Drew. And I don't think anyone would have had a problem with that. But, you've got Jey Uso. He's on I don't personally like Jey Uso. I don't enjoy him in the ring. I think that the Yeet thing is dumb. You know who doesn't think the Yeet thing is dumb? Most of the audience. And it's so over. And that's James, right. What did you think of this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement. Jey is so over at the minute. And after applaud WWE for the way they've been able to split him up from Jimmy and have him as like a legit single star now. And yeah, he's great talent and such, but I think it's smart for him to lose a match now instead of automatically booking him into, like, say, an undefeated streak. And then once that streak goes, it's like, what do we do now? Whereas if you give him that defeat early on, right, he can build himself up from here now and tell that story, what plans they've got for him. They've obviously got plans for him. He's been pushed so well in AEW. We'll get to AEW later on.
Yeah,
NXT. But now Jey's so over at the minute. I mean, will he win King of the Ring? Perhaps not. Might be Gunther, but you got to go where the money is. And at the minute, with the crowd chanting these songs and these catchphrases, you got to go with it. So I can see some people being pissed off, but to me, it's a smart decision.
I mean, I see the Yeet thing as the second coming of the Yes movement. It's popular because people like to do it. It's a fun thing to do in the crowd, to have your phone out and you do the thing where you go up and down, just like it was fun to point your fingers in the air and say yes. The only thing that was different there is that Bryan Danielson was such a phenomenal in-ring competitor that it worked. But make no mistake, folks, he didn't get pushed because he was a phenomenal in-ring competitor. He got pushed because the crowd thought it was fun to point at the sky and say yes.
Yeah. Spot on.
Kevin Apollo, you made a really good point about this on Twitter. I saw being over versus getting over, I think is what you said.
Yeah, listen, it's important to make the distinction. Wins and losses matter until they don't. Dragunov came in. He got, I think, 3 really big wins to establish his credibility as a member of the Raw roster. But we're on the beginning of his journey. There is no reason for him to be going over on Jey, who right now is the bigger star with the hottest burning fire. Yes, people chant the yeet. The arena is actually shaking when the guy comes out, and he has a legitimate energetic Uso chant. He is probably the most over person on the Raw roster right now, probably even on SmackDown, not including Cody. Cody's kind of in his own little universe. But, all you do is, if Dragunov goes over Jey in a tournament that he's not going to win, you're disrupting Jey's momentum, and no one gets anything out of it. Versus Dragunov and Jey have this banger match. They're going toe to toe, and he happens to come up short. Now, because he went hard and he went long with an established star that everybody's liked. Frankly, Jey has been over since he tapped out to Roman choking out Jimmy in the cage 3 years ago, and it just took everybody. It took everybody to realize it took Sami Zayn to point out what everybody had watched on TV for the last 2 years with the Bloodline to realize that the story was actually about Jey. So now Jey is a certified main eventer. Dragunov gets the rub for hanging with an actual main eventer. So this is where getting over versus going over is more important, because at the beginning of your journey, earning the emotional investment from the crowd is more important than 4,000 victories. You can, I don't know. I'm trying to think, like Gargano. They can give Gargano 400 wins in a row. No one's going to give a shit when he gets 401. There is just no emotional investment in the Garganos. Right now, people are excited about Dragunov. He's a dynamic performer. This just elevated him to another level.
Yeah, I agree. I would say, look, I am the first person with Jey Uso to criticize the work that he's doing in the ring right now. I hated the Uso versus Uso match. I am the first one to say he's working like the Young Bucks. He's throwing all these super kicks. He's doing all this nonsensical stuff. Here's the difference, okay? The Young Bucks cause people to tune out and change the channel. Jey Uso has an entire movement around his entrance. If the Young Bucks had that level of overness, we would have to endure what they do.
Well,
it's all about what's going to sell T-shirts, what's going to sell, Peacock subscriptions, all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, just to be fair to Jey, there is a little more rhyme and reason to the structure of his matches than the Young Bucks match. Yes, there's a lot of super kicks. Yes, he does a lot of very flashy stuff. But even in his match with Dragunov yesterday, it's been toned down versus what we've seen over really the last 2 to 3 months. And even then, he's been doing this style really since we got to the rap diss battle with the New Day. It's just kind of took the Young Bucks making everybody so exhausted to realize, we don't like seeing this at all wherever we see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier today. Jey has kind of a Ultimate Warrior thing going on for me, where he gets the crowd really excited. He's not great in the ring by any means, but he has a connection with the crowd. He's over. He does have an excitement just to watching him, the way he moves and the way he sells, which I think he does sell pretty well. But it's something that you have to capitalize on. I don't see him being a champion, a world champion, maybe ever. But I think people are forgetting too, there's way more of a story with Jey Uso going forward in the tournament than there is even with a Gunther or Dragunov, considering that on the other side of that tournament is Tama Tonga, whose dad was King Haku, and who they're integrating together recently with Paul Heyman looking at Jey at Backlash, and then them bringing that back up on SmackDown. That's where the story is. I know that us, internet fans and people who have seen Dragunov wrestle a lot and seen the Gunther and Dragunov matches want more of it, and we're going to get more of it. It's going to come. But giving that all away in Dragunov's fourth match on the main roster, while ditching a storyline that you stumbled into, by the way, because Drew got injured to get Jey in the tournament in the first place. Mm-hmm. So they stumbled on that. It seems to me, especially with them going back to or bringing up the Paul Heyman looking at Jey thing at Backlash. The fact that they brought that back makes me think that they are going to play into it and that this is going somewhere in the tournament. We always complain about these tournaments not having stories, and this one has so many built in that it's hard to just it's hard to be upset because the guy I like lost when it makes sense from every other standpoint for Jey to win. You know?
Yeah. Awful. You have been uncharacteristically silent. What do you think about this whole Jey Uso thing? I have a feeling you're going to have a very like volatile reaction to it, but that's just
no, not really. Not today, but I will
I'm
ask the
disappointed.
question. I will ask the question, how was this even an argument? Dragunov, just like this said, just like Kev said, he just got there. What did they think that he was going to go on the Bill Goldberg run? I mean, come on now. He's going to lose. He's going to continue to lose. He's going to obviously win and get over with fans. But come on now, in the tournament against Jey Uso, this is an easy choice. Who would want? I mean, I understand people want Gunther and Ilja Dragunov to be in the same match. Okay, great. Well, guess what? Jey Uso's moreover. So, that's how it goes. That's how the wrestling business is. And
right.
How this was even a thing on Twitter was
right.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't like it, but you're right.
And another thing no one mentions is the fact that they booked Dragunov really well in that match to where it almost is like he beat himself. Because earlier in the match he did the H-bomb onto the table, which he missed and hurt his hand. And then when he did the H-bomb again, they didn't sell it, but they should have sold the fact that Jey Uso's head is rock hard because he's Samoan. They play into that all the time anyway. So.
Yeah, they don't play into that as much as they used to.
They did. It's like the wrestlers do, but the announcers don't.
Oh, okay.
You'll see Randy Orton, if you watched Backlash, that match, Randy Orton tried to headbutt Solo, and then he just almost fell backwards because we don't headbutt a Samoan. And the wrestlers play into it, but the announcers don't. But when Dragunov went down for the H-bomb in the ring and he hit him, he sold it like he was punching a bag of concrete. And so he clearly hurt his fist, so then he couldn't go forward again. And basically, like I said, they booked him so strong in that loss, but I think a lot of people just didn't pay attention or didn't watch the thing
is the context is going to get lost. I mean, the only thing that people are going to see is that the Yeet man beat Dragunov. That's the only thing that they see. They don't see how it happened. They just see that it happened. A lot of them probably didn't even see it.
Right.
So, a couple more super chats. John JID 999, thanks so much for checking in. He was over in the pro show earlier when I was on there with Dean Kane. He says the Conrad segment is amazing. Marvin, let me chat you up. Who are the guys on AEW TV you all would like to see pushed in the near future? All right, that's a wild departure from where we are. I'm going to come back to this one. Plenty of Pixel Art. Thank you so much. Says this, where do you shop for hats?
Gas stations.
Yeah, I would assume it's wherever Fiverr for people to make VTuber or at Many.com or whatever that is.
You can buy this hat if you go to any gas station outside of a major city about 3 weeks before the 4th of July or 4 months after the 4th of July. You'll find a hat just like this. I promise.
James is sitting here like these. James is sitting here like these Americans. Oh my god.
I'll be honest, them hats ain't popular over here at all.
The HPN checking in with $20. Thank you so much. He goes, Ken,
good shit.
Triple H's booking has sucked since Mania. Pushing crap like Yeet Man, roided out female Ryback, morbidly obese Aussie, etc. The IC title lost prestige after Gunther. No plans for Cody. Tag division sucks. I have been less than enthused with the booking since WrestleMania. I have not been enjoying it. When I have to sit down and watch wrestling, because it's what I have to do for to live. I kind of drag my feet a little bit. Whereas before Mania, I was like, oh man, I can't wait to sit down and watch what we're going to do here. I don't know. James, do you think that the storytelling has faltered a bit since WrestleMania?
A little, yeah. I mean, I'm enjoying the Chad Gable stuff. That's the only because that was the one takeaway from Mania. I did not enjoy Sammy and then Gunther's reign. That was the one thing I hated because for me, they should have held back on that to have Gunther put over the next big guy, for example, Bron Breakker or Carmelo Hayes in the future, for example. Anyway, besides that, the only little bit of leeway I'm going to give Triple H is that we've just come off a draft. So obviously between Mania and the draft, you had Backlash in between. So there was only so much little bits of storytelling you can do in them, like what, 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
But hopefully now that the draft is finished, we'll start seeing these new stories being told. Hopefully we'll get the rematch between Chad and Sammy. Hopefully Chad finally gets his big singles run. I do think they'll end up pairing them up with the Creed brothers eventually. I think that'd be a smart move. That'll give the Creed brothers something to do as well and build them up. Cody, I mean, I know they've got this Logan Paul thing. Same sort of thing though, isn't it? Saudi show. It's not a show you really take serious. No disrespect to the Saudi fans, because they love it, but it's still not one of them show. We kind of look at it like a glorified house show. Basically, that's what Clash of the Castle was when I went to it a couple of years ago. It was a glorified house show. So I think once we get through this King of the Ring and that, fingers crossed, just being optimistic, I think we'll start seeing like a lot of story things being put into place.
Yeah, I
It's
think
kind of
it
like
was
they're
just...
running a new season.
Go
You know
ahead,
what I
Uncle,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's kind of like they're running a new season. Like WrestleMania seems to be their season finale. Now it's a whole new season with a whole new bunch of storylines, new stars, new stories, and all that mess.
This, what do you got to say about this?
I mean, I give Triple H a little leeway after Mania. It's also the injuries. I mean, just so many. If you look at that list and big names, you got Seth, you got Rhea, you got Drew now. So that obviously throws your plans, whatever you had thinking or you were thinking going in. Cody is in like a weird establishing phase right now. It's like it's hard to explain it. It's almost like it's not so much that you have to build him up as a champion, because I think people accept him as a champion, but you can't just have him go from one huge storyline to another huge storyline, especially when you're going to go back to the previous huge storyline. I imagine, like everyone, I kept seeing people freaking out that they weren't giving it to Randy Orton already. And it's like, that's a slow burn story that you gotta build to.
Yes. And that story is in there. Randy turning on Cody is going to happen. They're going to do the mentor versus mentee, and I'm here for it. I think that could even be a SummerSlam match.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. We do have to build to that. I don't hate the Logan Paul thing. I think that was kind of a inspired choice.
Yeah, I think
we'll talk more about that later. I got that set down to talk about.
Oh, okay. No, I was going to say, is that title for title or just Cody's title?
I had heard title for title.
Yeah, WWE seemed to make it sound like it's title for title, and Cody on SmackDown said he wanted the U.S. title because it would make him a Grand Slam champion. I want to say Cody even tweeted out that it was gold for gold or something like that. So, but I will agree with James. The Chad Gable stuff has been great.
Yeah.
He's a great heel. He and people hate him. Like they got this guy, if you remember, was getting cheered over Sammy in a match, and now the entire crowd is against him, and not like low cheap heat. Like they really don't. When he slapped Otis last night, I thought people were going to jump the barrier with how
Dominic heat.
Yeah, exactly. And teaming him up with the Creeds, I've said it from the beginning, is a great idea. I imagine that's going to happen. I thought it might happen last night during the tag match. I thought Chad Gable might just come out and help him win, and that would be the end of it. But it seems like they're pulling it on. But yeah,
hold on, James. What were you going to add before? So you were trying to add something.
Oh no, sorry. It's just the King of the Ring thing, because it was kind of thing they done a couple of times back in the 90s when you had Brett, who was WWE champ or WWF champ, against Diesel, who was like IC champ. So there was a little bit of a history where they would have the top champ against the mid-card champ. So I wonder if that was a bit of inspiration why they're having Cody and Logan Paul.
Kevin Apollo, I saved you for last on this one because I figured you were going to be very defensive of Triple H on this one.
Yeah, well, so there's a couple things at play. The big one here is it's playoff season. You're not going to beat the NHL. You're not going to beat the NBA. And listen, for the East Coast, the New York Knicks are in the playoffs. That hasn't happened since OJ was driving down the freeway. So these are big rating sucker, big attention grabbers. The fact that SmackDown stayed over 2 million on Friday is astonishing. because it
Right.
had both sets, both sets of leagues smashing with very important games. The other part of it too is, yes, we're rolling to the Saudi. That is a big money. That's a big money paid show where we give the Prince everything he wants, and that includes his good friend Logan Paul in a major main event. I'm shocked that the Undertaker hasn't been announced to pop up. Considering he just showed up at a soccer game a couple months ago for absolutely no reason.
He loves that Saudi money, man.
And you know what? I would too. I'm like, whatever
Just
you
give it
want
to me.
It's just put it when you send it to me. Just send it to me in the shape of Scrooge McDuck's money bin, so I can dive into it. Whatever you need me to do.
Though I loved when the Prince booked the Undertaker and Goldberg,
Yes.
and the Undertaker comes out there and he gets in his shooter stance and he's got that "you gonna work tonight, son," like, and that didn't work out very well for anyone. The Undertaker almost died.
So it's right now you're focusing on all the B plots, right? It was brilliant to delay Chad Gable a week so that he didn't get cheered, and now the place wants to murder him. Before even when he shit all over Maxine, with the super cheap line of Taylor Not So Swift, the building was legitimately offended for her. So we took this guy who we were all rooting for and wanted to see his moment, and now he is on the road to becoming the second coming of I'm a heel who thinks I'm a babyface Kurt Angle.
True.
I really think by the time we get to SummerSlam, you're going to see a radically different Gable. Reestablishing the King of, like I said, Triple H is focusing on all the B plots right now. Once we're out of Saudi, the path to SummerSlam is pretty clear, and that's where you're going to see everything kind of start to fire up. And also, too, you have to give these writers a break. You need to figure out who's going to be gone from injury. You also got to give other people time to shine. Like, listen, Dakota, I'm a big Dakota Kai fan. She, for whatever reason, once she came up from NXT, she kind of floundered. Now they're letting her speak. They're letting her be herself.
She's that white girl that like always hangs out with all the Asian girls. We've all known that girl.
Have we?
I've known them.
Usually, I don't know if I can make that joke on this show.
I had a couple myself there, Kev.
Contain yourselves.
Usually we call her a boy's lady.
I would make her a weeb. Like I would just have her like starting to come out like dressing like them, and I think that would be really funny if she's like this.
I thought she already was.
Like, yeah, kinda. It's true.
So it's like we're giving everybody who doesn't get attention time to shine, and give it another week. If we are having this conversation again in 3 weeks, yes, Hunter shit to bed.
Yeah. Rocka, thank you for the super chat for $10. Says Tooney Tuesday, fire. Yes, absolutely. Fire indeed. Rex Gardner checking in with $5 in some foreign currency that I don't recognize.
Euros.
British pounder. Euros. Okay.
He's from the cafe. Great fan, Rex. He's a long time fan.
Awesome.
So he's a great fan, Rex.
He says, looking forward to the Michael Hayes watching Cody shower segment. Am I missing something here? Is there a Michael Hayes watching people shower story that I'm...
Now, I can't do the story justice. Obviously, I do the show with Rene Dupree, but we have Paul London on all the time.
Uh-huh.
So Paul told the story. So someone asked him about Michael Hayes. So this is when Paul was tagging with Brian Kendrick. So we're saying, mid to late 2000s. So they've just finished a match and they're in like a big shower block. So they're both getting a shower after the match and they're chatting, yeah, man, yeah. And he said, do you ever get that feeling where you feel like someone's watching you? So we're talking, we're getting in the shower, and all of a sudden we stop and we turn around and there's Michael Hayes leaning up against a column. And according to Paul, Michael Hayes' words were, looking good, boys. Looking real good. And then he just walked off. And Paul was like, what the fuck? What was looking good? Our match or our dicks? So since then, we've christened Michael Hayes the Shower Grinch.
Oh,
The shower Grinch.
That sounds like a thing that you do, like specifically to Hayes and like make somebody uncomfortable. But I mean,
sure
I
it
do
was.
love the idea that he's just like, he's checking out all the young meat.
He volunteered for it, basically.
He's gonna
In
go
his
up.
pimp
He's gonna
suit.
go up. He's gonna go up when Cody is in the shower and be like, "You owe me, boy, because your daddy and Andre came in here and took all the damn money." That was always our Michael Hayes thing. Was he would always say on like the Legends Roundtable, he'd be like, "Well, we all would have been making good money, but Dusty and Andre'd roll in and take all the damn money." Oh my goodness!
We gotta watch that last music video of his where he's pouring his 40 out on Gordy's grave.
Oh God.
Yeah, poor Paul London had such a rough time of it with people like because wasn't there a situation with JBL in the shower too or something?
That wasn't Paul London. That
I
was
don't know if it was Paul, if it was the Hardy Boys.
Oh, I
It
don't
might have been
know.
Hardy for JBL in the shower.
Somebody got JBL'd in the shower.
Wasn't
Oh,
it
a lot
the
of people
Miz?
got JBL'd by the shower, by the sounds of it.
probably more than you'd think. I always thought it was Brian Christopher.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
Look,
Just,
we could all be right.
I don't know roster, you know.
You don't scream, boys.
He's been there for a long time.
Yeah. Alejandro Melendez, thank you with $5. Says we see what happens when a promotion does what the fans want with AEW. No stars are made because booking favors one guy 1 month and another the next. That is an excellent point. And look, I have to always hold WWE to the same standard that I hold AEW because that's the way to be a fair commenter. Like when you look at AEW's ratings during the NBA playoffs, yes, they're down, and they're always going to be down during the NBA playoffs in the NHL. However, are they down more this year than they were last year? And AEW is setting record lows, which means that is the problem. Like they're like, oh, what do you expect? Like, they're not the NBA playoffs are going on, and I'm just like, well, there were NBA playoffs last year, and we didn't do these numbers, so
Right.
Alt Jake checking in, $5. Thank you so much. Says, unlike the IWC, Triple H has patience. He's taking his time and letting things build. Triple H is now the long game. That's not a Conrad Dick Pill advert. Use promo code the long game to save 20%. Oh, good Lord. Oh God, you guys
That
are
fucker
amazing.
stood
All
me
right.
up on the interview once.
Stealing that
Conrad.
one.
Really? He was supposed to do an interview and he stood you up?
Yeah, this was ages ago. This was before Cafe. I had my own channel, and I remember emailing them. I forgot where I contacted them through, but he's like, "Yeah, James Schultz." Well, I can't do the accent, but I'd love to come on the show. I'm like, "All right, then." I waited, and I waited, and I was like,
Oh no.
"Guess he ain't showing up." So, the son of a bitch didn't show up.
Wow. And did he ever get in contact with you again to be like, hey, like this is what
no.
happened? Oh my
No,
Hmm.
no.
He did an eviction.
The only interaction I ever had with him once was, him interact about the Ric Flair's last match where he was like defending the decision to let Ric Flair, wrestle, and then just last week Flair's like, heart attack in the match. My heart stopped beating. I saw Jesus.
I'm sorry.
I was like, take me home, Jesus. And then Jay Lethal chopped me, and my heart started up again.
With your name job.
Jeff Jarrett was like, you ain't leaving yet. Get back here, you.
Don't you die on me, you son of a bitch.
I gotta beat you one more time. Going back to John JID's super chat here. Who are the guys on AEW TV that you would like to see pushed in the near future? I'll go first. I'll give three. If you go with your top three, mine would be. Now, normally I would have said Wardlow, but that ship has sailed. There's no point in even trying anymore.
That ship sank, brother.
Yeah, we have Stutter started this so many times now that there's no point in ever trying it again. I would honestly, and this is just me, like being like a 90s mark, I guess, but I really was hoping when Dustin challenged Joe that it was the start of some like big last run where he was going to be in the main event. He was going to be a main guy. So I would say Dustin. I mean, the guy still has a lot to give. And yes, there's something to say about taking up TV time, but I don't know. The Rhodes name means something right now, like in a way that it hadn't in a very long time. And I think that Dustin would have been great. Oh gosh, who else would I want to see them push? People that I think they push too much. I would like to see Orange Cassidy not be pushed.
No.
Gosh, so yeah,
Jey Lethal.
Jey Lethal. Thank you. You know what? Just as you said that popped into my mind. I think that Jey Lethal is the biggest untapped potential they have on that roster. The guy can do everything, and he does it with style. He is criminally underutilized on this show. And you know what? I think I'm just going to give those two. Jey Lethal and Dustin Rhodes. Those are my two. James, who would you like to see them use better in the near future?
That's a good question. Where's Scorpio Sky?
Hey, that's the question of the week every week.
Seriously, like, where is
Didn't
he?
they just announce that he's coming back or that he's not injured anymore or something? I just saw something about that.
Oh,
I don't know. I
can't remember last time I saw him. And I liked the SoCal group, and yeah, I got no idea where he is. So if he's still with us, please, Lord, I'd like for him to come back and have a push. I guess, I mean, I'm biased because I'm a Brit. I like Ospreay. If he's lays off the WWE slander.
I don't think you have to wish very hard for that push to happen.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of people like I said, the Wardlow.
That's like being like,
gone.
I really hope Star Wars makes a new show with a woman as the main character. It's gonna happen.
I'll tell you who I would like to see get a push, because I call it the Braun Strowman effect. They give him a push for a couple of weeks, then they stop. I would like for him to really invest in Lance Archer or Lance Cade, whatever he's called. Lance Archer, sorry. Because he's with Jake. How are they not using Jake in Backstage for storytelling?
Yeah,
really.
We interviewed Jake last year, which was a fucking privilege, by the way. And he said they don't use me backstage. And he said, I love Tony. He's the best boss I ever had. I'm like, I'm not fucking surprised. He
doesn't talk to him.
Yeah. But it's
He
like,
just
they don't really use us. And he was on about Lance saying, they barely use him. And he's this big was he 6'5", 6'6", something like that.
Yeah.
And the guy's athletic as hell. He can do a moonsault off the rope. I don't know what more they want from him. So Lance Archer would be one of the big ones, like really invest in him. I know that they got him doing his stuff for the righteous, but he doesn't need it. Like, just have him do his own thing with Jake, and he's a fucking monster. That's the problem with AEW, though. They can't book monsters. I know they pushed Joe for a bit, but I've never really considered Joe as a monster. Not like a Wardlow or Lance Archer, for example.
They didn't push Joe as a monster, even though he could very well easily be one.
Right.
Yeah. So they've always had that trouble. There's no one really... There's no one out there on AEW TV what's really saying to me, oh, that guy's great talent, that guy should really be pushing, because no one's being highlighted, so it's hard for me to pick someone. But if I had to pick one person, I would say Lance Archer.
And I was trying to think of like the women's division too, but I was still coming up with nobody that I could think out of that I'm like, oh, they're being criminally underutilized. I mean, Lance Archer I think is a good one because, Jake right now is just, I get to just sit back and he pays me all this money. And then you got, and that's happening with everyone. You got guys like the Big Show, who the only thing he's got to do is once every 2 months, he gets up off the couch and goes, hey, everyone, it's the Big Show. Watch Dynamite. And he pays him $1 million. Captain Insano.
It's hard.
The biggest waste of money was when he bought that Captain Insano, right? Oh my God. Sorry, Disc. Go ahead.
No, it's going to be hard to find people who you're like, oh, they should push that guy, because some of the okay, like I was going to say Big Bill, right? But they think they are pushing Big Bill by putting him with Jericho. You know, you could say a guy like Ricky Starks, but they thought they did push Ricky Starks. You could say Powerhouse Hobbs, but they thought they did. So it's not a matter of just we want these guys pushed. It's we want these guys used better and utilized correctly. Elevated, right? And because so really the best people to push might be the guys like Jay Lethal or Dustin or Christopher Daniels, or guys you can build. And it won't take much. It won't take much to get Dustin back to a point where he's a big deal. But
did the Motor City Machine Guns debut, or is that just still
not yet? I'm assuming that's going to be something that they do after they're done with FTR. Like that'll be maybe the name Kenny brings in to help him or something like that.
Because that right there is somebody that I would want to see them push to the moon. I love them.
Yeah, and then the good thing is that if you push these guys, it won't take much effort to get them over because they're already guys we know could get over, and then use them to elevate the talent that needs to be over to keep this company sustainable. So really, like I think you're on the right track. I think guys like Dustin, you know, Lance Archer's not young. He's like 46, 45, somewhere around there
for a bit.
So, you know, he's a guy you could push and he won't take much effort because he's a big, good looking guy. Stuff like if you get those guys to where people care about him again, then you can use them to get your new guys over. Because what do you have? I mean, you're going to beat Hangman. I mean, does anybody care if anybody beats Hangman anymore? Really? Like there's nobody with that prestige, and that's what they need to build. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Awful. Who do you, I'm sorry. Awful. Who do you got? Because, and you cannot say just burn the arena down.
Okay. All right. Well, for my second choice then, it would be for on the women's side, there's nobody aside from Toni Storm except for Willow Nightingale. She's all right. She can be elevated somehow. I mean, we could talk about push, you know, she's about to be pushed right into it.
Do you think she's being pushed, or do you think she's being fed to the Monet monster?
Oh, I was just about to say, yeah, she's being fed right to the Mercedes Monet. Now, what would be shocking is that, you know, Monet takes the loss. That would, you know.
Oh, awful.
Yeah.
Oh, you.
I know.
I'm a child.
Yeah, my naive self. But yeah, Willow Nightingale on the female side. On the men's side, possibly Will Hobbs. You know, he's a monster, but again, that they don't know how to really book monsters, as James said. So yeah, Willow and Will Hobbs, both with Will in there. So yeah, that's my choice.
Kevin Apollo, who you pushing?
All right. So, where in the hell is Jamie Hayter? Is she hurt?
Catering. Parking cars.
With Camille?
Like, she goes on my list of, well, what the hell happened to Scorpio Sky? You guys listed everybody who should be named. At the end of the day, the problem is AEW can't make stars because AEW doesn't have a booker. Tony is a matchmaker. He puts the match of the week that he has in his head that he thinks this particular community wants to see. Once he gets the match, the toys go to the bottom of the pile. I'm done with you. It's why you start a story, and you start a story on Wednesday. The following Wednesday, you might not see Powerhouse Hobbs powerbombed Jericho, right? A couple months ago. You think you're going to get a follow-up the following Wednesday. We didn't see Hobbs back on Dynamite for almost 2 months. No one watches Rampage. No one gives a shit. I don't want to have to watch it.
Speaking of Rampage, Scorpio Sky announced his return on Rampage, and no one watched it.
That's why none of us knew.
That's why none of us knew. I'd rather get a beer glass enema than have to fucking watch Rampage. Stop it. No one gives a shit about your shitty shows. Just give us one show that we can watch and not want to gouge our fucking eyes out. To me, Lance Archer, dude, this guy's progression from being Hoyt and everybody laughing at him about the silly little tramp stamp to turning himself into a bona fide monster. There is no reason that this dude has not been champion at least once. At least once. You could kind of say the same thing about Brian Cage, except Brian Cage is a fucking 400-pound gorilla who wants to fucking be a ballerina. So, like, he kind of does it to himself. Brother, you look like fucking Sabretooth. You don't get to be Wolverine. Just fucking accept it. The same thing with Hobbs. Hobbs, we keep pretending that we're gonna. This guy is a fucking. He's a Titan. He's Black fucking Thanos in a singlet. Do something with the fucking guy.
Yeah.
It's insane. Instead we get the same participation trophy bullshit that we get every week. Fucking that stupid Orange Cassidy is taking a fucking pile driver on the ring steps and is able to come up to his feet and fight for another 8 fucking minutes when it's something that's in the fucking hospital. This is insanity. This is why no one watches this show. You know the good thing about the NBA playoffs is it tells us what the brand new low for AEW is going to be going into the next year.
How about why bring Jeff Cobb in when you have Miro sitting on the shelf? Like you brought in Jeff Cobb. Great. That's awesome. He's here for a one-off. And
Miro's hurt though, right? Miro is still
he
out hurt.
He was just on a little while ago. Didn't he come out and say, I'm not hurt. I'm just sitting at home, you know?
He's currently depressed at the minute because his wife split and Damian Priest by all accounts.
Well, then what about all the other...
Wait, really? Damian Priest?
Oh, that's the rumor, going around.
I had not heard that rumor.
He's been
there's a few pictures out there
of him like partying and shit.
He's been posting the pictures on Instagram himself. So, you know.
Wow. Okay.
But even not... Okay, fine. Not Miro. But what about... I guess Hobbs is injured, I hear. So then you still got Wardlow. You still got Brian Cage you could use for that spot. I'm just saying you don't need... If you need a big meaty guy, you got plenty of big meaty guys. You don't need to bring in someone else and give a spot on a show to someone else when you have 250 people under contract and you're using 30, you know? I mean, it just, I don't know.
What about John Morrison? Whatever he's called these days.
What about him?
Johnny Rampage.
I think he was on Collision or Rampage. Yeah.
Right. Because I've done nothing with him at all.
Yeah. Rex Gardner checking in with €2 saying Jericho is a young talent who needs more pushes. I'm sure Jericho agrees with you.
True.
Everett Todd, thank you so much. $2 says AEW is bad at keeping any stable going. Yes, and they have had a million stables since this company
they all broke
started.
up because of friendships as well.
Yeah.
You're no longer my friend.
A million stables like that. That is also like you see that on the indies. Like when an indie booker doesn't know what he's doing, he just starts creating stables.
We should
take over what
in
Japan. I think that's where he got it from, like Japan, because they've got all their stables. So I think that's where his biggest influence was from Japan.
Probably.
Yeah.
The HPM with $5 says Megan Bain could be Rhea 2.0, but Tony doesn't know how to push women. Give it to HBK and watch. That's an interesting.
Tony doesn't know how to push anybody. I mean, you don't need to specify. I don't know. He's a good matchmaker, but saying he doesn't know how to push women. I mean, that's a given at this point.
Uncultured Barbarian checking in with $5 says from the start, I thought AEW needed to hire a good booker and someone to format TV, and they could still use those things. And you know what? He had those people in his lap. You had Jim Ross, you had Jake Roberts, you had these Arn Anderson, you had these minds surrounding you that even if you didn't give them the book, you could have farmed for the information that you need. You could have had them advising you, but he knew better than everybody else. You know,
and who's left?
He gave everybody creative control. That's the problem. And now nobody wants to listen to the booker.
I can't tell if they actually have. I can't tell if they actually have creative control or if he just lets them do whatever they want. I mean, I've heard many times
that's creative control, brother.
Yeah, I mean. But there's one thing to have like contractual creative control, which is like, you know, what Hogan had, where it's like, no matter what, I get my way.
Right. Did you ever read that Lexus King interview where he talked about how he came up with the Varsity Blondes? Was that the group there?
I think that was the group.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So he came, he told Tony he wanted to do Varsity Blondes, and he goes, okay, cool. Who do you want in the group? And he goes, I was thinking maybe Griff and Julia. And he goes, all right, that sounds good. We'll be on TV next week. That's it. That's how it started. So, that gives you an idea of how creative works there, I think.
We had him on the show before he got released. It was when the whole Punk and Elite stuff was going down. You could tell, because he's still signed with AEW at the time, you could tell that there was a lot of frustration there, and there was a lot he wanted to say, but he just couldn't because of contractor issue. But he said how basically he was angry the fact they took Julia Hart from him, because he said basically when she went away, that basically destroyed our team. And after that, they didn't know what to do with him at all. I mean, I guess he's getting a little bit of a push in NXT, but no big deal yet. But obviously, it's still early days for him. But yeah, I remember having him on, and he was frustrated with them completely. He couldn't wait to get out, basically.
Wow. Sounds like it. Shaggy Filth 73 for $5 says, just joined the stream. I love Apollo gives the fans what we want, wearing tanks and banging skanks. I don't know if you banging skanks.
Take that out of the ether, brother.
And his wife is a lovely lady. Oh my goodness, that's gotta be your catchphrase from now on.
New T-shirt.
We can make a great T-shirt.
Would it fit though?
It wouldn't be a T-shirt. It'd be a tank top.
Yeah, we'd have to do some really small lettering, horizontally. Oh my god! Hey, so did you guys see this Hulk Hogan said that Roddy he insinuated that Roddy Piper sent him a voicemail from the great beyond.
No,
I have not heard this. I'm interested.
Really? But here's the thing.
It's
the
true.
Voicemail exists. There is no disputing that the voicemail exists. However, Hogan claims that the voicemail came through to his phone days after Roddy had died.
Hold on. Is this like when he body slammed Andre, holding him up 40,000 feet in the air when I crashed through the ground and he went to the depths of hell and then died 3 days later? His boots.
Have I ever told you? Yeah, probably. But my Hogan theory has always been that when Hulk Hogan slams Andre the Giant, it's the one multiversal constant in every single universe. And when it happens at the same time, Hulk Hogan gets unstuck in the multiverse. And he's constantly switching places with other Hulk Hogans from other realities. So when he talks, it's not that he's lying. It's just that happened to that Hulk Hogan from Earth 72.
Oh my God.
Did you,
Jerry? It's not a lie if you believe it.
There was somebody I saw speaking up saying actually there was a hurricane that weekend and cell signals were weird. So it actually is possible that it happened where he got the voicemail after. Hulk Hogan, I've always said I'd much rather you have a guy like Hulk Hogan who lies and it's obviously a work, and it's like everyone just kind of rolls their eyes and goes, oh, Hogan. Then someone like Ric Flair, who one day says, oh, that wasn't a heart attack, that was a work. And then when it benefits him, he can say, oh, you know what? I did have a heart attack. You should feel sorry for me. Don't look at what I did in the pizza store last week. I'd rather have the guy who just is always bullshitting me, and I could deal with that. I can't deal with liars. So.
I've got the clip. I got the clip to play so that we can actually hear him talk about it, and we can actually hear the voicemail. Okay. Now, the voicemail obviously exists. It is just a matter of whether or not it came in before or after Roddy Piper's death. So I'll let you guys be the judge. Just share my screen here. We're going to Twitter X.
Heaven must have T-Mobile.
Oh my God. All right. Here we go.
Because even at that age, so many days of the year he was gone away from home and he could have been alone. Sorry. And I'm just very grateful that he was home with me when he passed.
The news came that he passed away, and I felt like I got shot in the chest with a cannon, and it kind of like knocked me off track for a couple of days. And then all of a sudden I get this voice message. It was really
He
weird.
was walking funny.
Sometime at that night when it was sent to you in the morning.
I'm walking with Jesus today, my brother. Walking with Jesus, loving you and praying for you.
It really spooked me out, like alien thing, like Close Encounters is just crazy to get a voice message from somebody after they passed away, and especially for him to say, "I'm loving you and walking with Jesus, my brother, just loving you and walking with Jesus." I was like, "Wow!" Totally screwed me up.
Okay.
Wait. Did he not say that it was? It almost sounded like he said it was. He said it was one of those things where you fall asleep and wake up and there's a voicemail left for you. Is he just saying that he just didn't pick it up until a few days later and everyone kind of
No, he's saying he didn't see it until like it didn't come through until several days later. And like as if Roddy Piper had one phone call from heaven. Like he managed to like poke some kind of like signal hole through the netherworld. And instead of reaching out to his wife and children, he needed to call the man he hates the most in all the world to say, "I'm walking with Jesus, brother. I'm walking with Jesus. I'm walking with Jesus because you're gonna be burning in hell. You son of a bitch." That was the second half of it. Fuck Hogan. So,
we're inside the house, brother.
Well, I mean, look, we have forever believed that, Piper didn't actually die. His job was just done because, Hulk Hogan had gotten caught on tape using racial slurs, and Hulkamania was officially dead. And he was like, "My time here has come. I've done what I meant to do," and just faded into dust and blew away.
It wasn't a soft A. He used a hard R. My time here is done.
There's nothing else I can do.
I got one more phone call to make.
I could stick around for Mr. T. But you know what? Irrelevance has already got him. Remember WrestleMania 30 when they did that backstage segment where they had Hogan, Mr. T, Orndorff, and Piper like backstage? Mm-hmm. And Piper shakes Mr. T's hand and he looks like he's vomiting in his mouth while he does it.
Orndorff looked like he was going to kill Hogan, too.
Oh, Hogan probably thought he was going to kill him. How many guys were there that were like, this guy is a fantastic heel. He's so over. He needs like a main event run. However, we cannot put him with Hogan because he will legitimately kill Hogan and just break him. I know Rick Rude. It was always rumored that's why Rick Rude never got the title run with Hogan.
And Harley, right? Wasn't that the deal with Harley too?
Yeah, and he refused with Vader. He didn't want any part of Vader.
Yeah.
Eastside Reviews asks, have y'all heard the Rikishi diss track on Hogan? I have never heard that.
Incredible.
What?
He's not bad.
You listened to it, Kev?
I did because it was a Rikishi. Listen, put a little ass on it was transformative. I heard it. I was like, I can't believe someone did this. And every time Rikishi drops a track, I give it a listen.
I am looking this up right now.
I knew he was looking it up. He was all quiet, tapping away on the keyboard.
Is it Rikishi the Sultan Hulk Hogan diss? Is that what I'm looking for here? Rikishi
play that one too.
Okay.
How many wrestlers got diss tracks about Hogan? Rikishi,
really.
Macho Man.
Rikishi and Macho Man for two of them.
Macho Man.
I was always upset that we didn't get the rap battle between Macho Man and Hogan, considering Hogan is an excellent rapper himself. I'm sure everyone here knows that.
I have that album and I blasted in my car.
I know every word. I
Oh
know
my
every
goodness
word.
gracious!
Oh my god.
But I get shit for Grace Randolph. Incredible.
Yes, that is infinitely worse.
Oh please.
Okay,
Why would you? We had forgotten about it.
So
We had forgotten about it. Why would you bring it back into the mainstream?
Because what Kev was listening to in his car is infinitely worse.
No, it's not. When I was in high school, there was an area of town where all the rich kids with the good cars would go and drive in circles and flirt with each other. And I had a 1983 Crown Vic with a CD player in it. And I took that 1983 Crown Vic and I got two of my friends and we put in the Hulk Rules CD and we go down to the cruise track and just drive around in circles.
My God, you guys.
Hulk Rules out the window
See?
and rapping along with it. We got a lot of attention, I would say, actually. You'd be surprised.
I need you to write some jokes about that, Marv.
Oh my God.
Fucker.
I've got my team of writers on it now.
Yeah.
I'm just the pretty face. All right, so let's see if this is actually the thing here that we're looking for. Rikishi the Sultan Hulk Hogan Day. Is this it?
Yeah.
Do we think? Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think I got to put on the captions for this.
No reason, because I don't know the guy, I never met the guy. I think I should arrest him at that time. Go back to it again now. Mr. Hogan, you are big. But remember,
Wait, it opens with this is the Sheik.
Yeah.
This is Iron Sheik. Okay.
Yeah, just go with it.
Just okay.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. We're out of time. Jabronis want to dance in my square circle. Had to do it for Cheeky, baby. We cast virtue. This one is for Mark saying that man hurt you. We know the family matters, but I ain't Urkel. This is a shoot, boy. I ain't trying to work you.
This is actually pretty
You
good.
should be ashamed of yourself.
I paused it because I don't want us to get demonetized for playing copywritten music. I just realized
Demonetized, banned from YouTube. I mean,
Oh,
this
my
song is awful.
Gotta feed the truth. Those vitamins ain't working. This ain't the Dungeon of Doom. So before you rip the shirt, might want to put your ear to this verse. Spoken from the soul to the
My God. The Dungeon of Doom reference was a choice. I like that.
That's not hot.
It's not hot, brother. I've never been here before. There's no Hulkamaniacs here. Where am I? Oh my God.
A long ponytail, an unstoppable force. Prepare to build the no cell is the only cell. Even
Okay. All right. The no cells. I've got the gist of it. We don't need to watch the full 3 minutes. But,
You didn't get to Kev's best part of the verse.
well, what's the best part of the verse?
I don't fucking know.
Oh, okay.
You didn't get to the hook.
Yeah, the
I
hook.
thought
There you go.
I thought we had gotten to the hook. He
Yeah.
did it for The Rock. He did it for the people.
Hook him right off the stage there.
That was thank you, East Side Reviews. That was something I never knew I needed in my life. Man, I miss the Iron Sheik so much. Like, I'm just glad that he had that one night, that one day where he went on Howard Stern and brought Eric Sims on with him, so that now whenever I want, I can pull up the Iron Sheik screaming at Eric Sims. If those of you that don't know, Eric Sims was the longtime manager of the Iron Sheik. He's also the guy that brings in pretty much every major draw to indie shows. He's pretty connected guy with that kind of thing.
I've got a story about him.
Oh, can you tell it?
So yeah, so Renee and Paulie done a convention. I forgot where it was. Don't know if it was in New York or wherever. I think it was New York. And they're walking around with I think Jonah was with them. He's walking around with the camera filming them. So Paul's like, let's just interview people as we walk along. And they saw the Orient Express. So Paul's like, let's interview him. And Eric Sims is there. It's like, you have to pay. Paul's like, oh, fuck you. And he just goes right up to Pat Tanaka and fucking Paul Diamond, and they start interviewing them.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
I had heard a story one time. I have no idea how true this is. That he brought Sabu to a show, and Sabu's not booked on this show. But then Sabu runs into the ring and goes out there, and then he turns to the promoter and he's like, "There, now you owe us like $500." Something like that.
Oh my God.
I think it was. I think I had heard about it from that scene. But yeah. Oh my gosh. The last thing I thought I was going to be talking about tonight. All right. What else do we got this week? So we've gotten Roddy Piper's voicemail from the Netherworld. Let's talk about the fact that oh gosh. I thought I had something there. The CM Punk mentioning Jack Perry on Monday Night Raw when he said the whole thing about being a choke artist and and it got no reaction. And what was interesting to me with this getting no reaction was that people touted it as proof that CM Punk just isn't over, because when the Elite brings up CM Punk, it gets this huge reaction. But when CM Punk brings up the Elite, it gets no reaction.
Again,
that's one of those things you just have to kind of sit there and stare at them until they realize what they just said.
You've walked into my trap.
The trap, CM Punk's trap card.
The fucking idiots.
I don't love inside references and mentioning other companies and that kind of thing, but that's kind of what CM Punk does. And if he can do it this low key to where 90% of the crowd is just gonna not it's not that they don't get it, it's that they don't even know it's a joke about that. They think it's just saying that he's a choke artist. That's it.
That's it.
So if he can get away with it like that, then whatever. It doesn't bother me. It is hilarious that nobody knew it though.
It's a humble brag. That is CM Punk going, I'm in front of an actual audience, an actual global audience, and no one in here knows what I'm talking about. Stop being so self-important.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear this interview with the Young Bucks from back in 2019 where they were talking about what they wanted with AEW and things that they never wanted to see. One of the things they were like, look, we can't run, oh God, what I'm trying to think of the exact verbiage they used. It was something
they
along
can't
the lines
run.
of
They're too afraid to run big buildings
because they don't want pictures of empty seats being put on the internet. I'm Cornette played the audio of it, and I was like, "Oh no!" And they were like, "Look, it's better to sell out a 4,000 seat arena than to draw 6,000 in a 12,000 seat arena." But then they follow it up with, "But I'm sure the money people would say that the 6,000's better," and I'm like, "No, they wouldn't, because it costs more to rent the 12,000 seat arena."
Right. That's how novice they are in any sort of business management. These are the young bucks, for God's sakes, mid-card talent, thinking that they're going to somehow be a part of an operation that requires productivity, results. I mean, come on now. That's not the young buck style.
One of them said, it's like I've always said, big city, big building, small city, small building. I was like, what?
That's what they said. Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Rex got to check it back in. It says, what's you guys take on Zelina Vega as a talent? James, start us off on this one.
She's pretty.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. That's the full review.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, Kevin Apollo.
Congratulations, Malachi Black.
Yeah, beautiful.
But yeah, it was obviously very beautiful. I think she's a little underutilized, but here is the problem. This is where your nerd culture conflicts with your wrestling life. Wrestling is it's supposed to be a throwback to combat sports. The coming out in your Overwatch play, your cosplay, or your Street Fighter cosplay. The people who are booking your character want you to be taken seriously have no fucking clue what you are doing. They just don't. So You
But
know,
you know
like
what? It worked. That works sometimes. Like I loved when the New Day came out in the Saiyan armor.
sure. And guess what? How great was Big E's title reign after they said we need to get you serious? We need to get you taken seriously as a contender. Big E went from having them planning this grandiose WrestleMania entrance for him with the four-wheelers that came with his action figure to him dropping the title on Brock Lesnar unceremoniously, because you have to be taken seriously as a champion. And we all love nerd shit. It makes the world go round now. But the reality of it is if I don't know what you're doing, like, you know, we talk about it. AEW caters to a niche of a niche of a niche. Video games, as profitable as they once were, it's a niche of a niche of a niche. Sometimes there's overlap, sometimes there's not. I think if she would take herself a little more seriously as a performer and make her a little more viable as a talent, as opposed to just wanting to be some geeky goddess, we'd get more out of it. Right now, it's just, what the fuck am I gonna? Do you think Triple H knows what anything past the fucking NES is?
No, I think that when Mercedes Moné came out of Sailor Moon, Tripp was in the back going, "Fighting evil by moonlight." He was 100% into it. I'm telling you. Never running.
What does Zelina Vega have that none of the other women in the company have?
I think that Zelina.
Can we talk about that on this show?
Probably not.
In a different time, I think there is a position for Zelina as like either a damsel in distress or the female you want to feel sorry for, but then slaps you in the face kind of thing. You can't really do that now, right? They have to be
a manager.
A manager, yeah. I think so, because she does have an ability of getting across story. She is good at getting sympathy. And you know, our male.
What are you talking about? It is 2024. She is a small, skinny woman. She should be fighting an entire bar full of 300-pound men and coming out without a scratch on her. That's how it works now.
I know, and that's my thing, is that I think that there is a great, as a worker, it's hard for me to buy it, especially when you're trying to get bigger and bigger women in your company. I mean, and because she's not Rey Mysterio, you know what I mean? Like, she's fine, but she's not Rey Mysterio, and there are women her size that dominate her. So, or I mean, in terms of height, that are her size, that are still much bigger than her. So she's always going to be an underdog, and an underdog female ends up just getting sympathy more than anything. But not that kind of sympathy, not the Rey sympathy, the I want to protect her sympathy.
Has she ever won a championship?
She was Queen of the Ring.
Women's champion? Okay, that's about it.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, last year.
Or I forgot it.
Well, and I feel bad for her, because the Woods reign was such an abysmal failure that they just abandoned everything. And I think they were hoping to attach it to the G4 relaunch disaster. Yeah. So what should have been a breakout moment for, because Queen Zelina was awesome. She was cutting great promos. You got to see what was there, but this fucking Woods abortion just flushed straight down.
You're telling me that we could have gotten the compilation of Xavier Woods and Frosk, and we didn't get it? I'm being very sarcastic, folks. Thank God we did not get that.
And that's why her costumes don't get over on TV, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
The nerdy costumes, we see it a lot now. I mean, the Elite came out dressed as the Ghostbusters, but I think that was a movie tie-in. I think that was like an official licensing thing. But you've had Rey with the superhero costumes at WrestleMania. You've had the New Day. They did the same. What else did the New Day do besides the Saiyans? I think they've done other stuff.
They've done superhero stuff before, but I can't. I mean, they've done so much; it's hard to pick out any one thing anymore. So.
Right.
Omega came out as Sephiroth at Wrestle Kingdom, which, God, it was like the first time I ever liked Kenny Omega
also New Day's videos based on Mario Brothers, right?
Yeah. That's very true as well.
it's all video game stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. I think now, like back in the day, you would never catch like the pro wrestlers in the back, like the Undertaker and JBL and all them talking about anything remotely nerdy. But now you're getting. They're not sitting around drinking beers back there. They're sitting there playing video games. They're playing the Nintendo Switch. They're having Smash Brothers tournaments. Like it is a new crop of wrestler and. Yeah, we're seeing that kind of bleed through. Yes, the Woods and Kofi came out as the green and white Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I do remember that. Wasn't that right after Jason David Frank passed?
Yeah,
I believe so.
Do you ever hear the story about?
Once, by the way, he's fantastic. He was such a nice guy.
Do you ever hear about the video game that AJ travels with?
No, what video game does AJ travel with?
AJ has a.
Is it a board game of the Earth? No. And like he pulls it out and sets it on the table and it's like, this is what the Earth looks like.
Yeah, it's close. He has an Xbox 360 that has a screen built in. Okay. And all he does is play that year's the last Madden that he got for Xbox 360. He's been playing since then and kept one franchise going for that long.
Oh my God.
So he'll be, they said, Woods was talking about it. He said he'll be on a plane and he'll bring out the Xbox 360. He'll be backstage. They'll bring out an Xbox 360. They'll try to get him to play a new game, and he has no interest in it. It's either board games, he will play board games, or Madden on the Xbox 360. That's all he'll do.
Why the hell do I want to start over? Look at all this progress I've made.
Jeez. AJ Styles didn't strike me as much of a geek before that story, but I guess I have to
you know what? No,
look at him a little different.
Playing a sports game is not geeky. Like all the jocks when I was in high school played Madden. It was, I was never a jock, so I never played Madden. But
if you worked the right indie show back in the day in Jersey, you had Joe's Xbox Live handle, and you could sit down and play Gears of War with him.
Samoa Joe?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Man, am I old? Holy shit.
It's incredible. Yeah, speaking of games, we've been doing some game streaming on the channel lately. We just did the first episode of Gaming with the Game the other night, where our good friend Tripp played God of War 2018, and it went pretty well. It was we had a good showing there. People seem to really enjoy it. It's gotten like 1,000 views so far, so I'm happy with it. We're gonna definitely do it again. But it was a lot of like Triple H doing voiceovers, calling the boy calling him Gargano and all that stuff. So everybody he encounters in the game is somebody from wrestling. So check that out, folks, if you get a chance. All right, moving along. Kenny Omega, speaking of him from his Sephiroth outfit, he has been kind of strange lately, hasn't he? Like, I mean, he's always been strange, but lately he has been kind of going against that AEW narrative. He has praised CM Punk. He has come down on the idea of wrestlers as EVPs, saying that he's a terrible EVP. He has who else did he talk? The big one was the Meltzer thing. Here's what he had to say about Dave Meltzer. He's jumped the fucking shark, so it doesn't count for much anymore. He has jumped the motherfucking shark, and guess who is to blame for that? Me. Maybe I should do this in like a Kenny breathy voice. Me. I'm the guy. I broke the scale. It fucked up something in his brain. No, you know what? I like what he's saying, so I'm going to actually say it. It fucked up something in his brain where he doesn't even know what a good match is anymore. I think he doesn't understand it anymore. He can't comprehend what's going on. Wow. That is... Now, Dave Meltzer was quick to be like, well, they're building a feud between Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, and that's just him, it's a work. And I'm like, no, they are not building a feud between Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. Kenny Omega is probably a year away from being able to step back in a ring, and when he does, the match is very clearly Okada. Right? Am I wrong there? Like, so, I mean, clearly, I don't know. I don't know if Kenny is like, look, this has scared me. I don't have many years left in the business. So maybe it's time for me to start making nice with the other side because, I got to get my run before I retire. I don't know. I have no idea what this is. Kevin, what do you think about the fact that Kenny Omega is just suddenly gone rogue?
What I love about when someone's doing one of these big long live streams. It's just you're just talking, right? It's almost like stream of consciousness, and then people will jump on like a rabid dog with a bone and focus on this one thing. Like, yes, who on God's green earth would not want to be showcased like Roman Reigns was showcased over the last 4.5 years? That doesn't mean Omega's looking to jump right away, but it's just, yeah, you know what? Yeah, who wouldn't want that level of prestige put on them? But here's the other half of it. He's been home for a little while. You know, he's kind of maybe not been neck deep in the shit show that is AEW. And you know, sometimes when you are not with your friends, you kind of get a moment of clarity where you go, shit. Because, you know, is he thinking maybe I shouldn't have signed an extra 4 years when I did? Or should I probably waited it out a little bit? Because, yeah, guess what? Out of the three of them, if I am Triple H, I know that I can probably get more dream matches out of Omega than I'm going to get out of the Bucks. There's just more value in Kenny Omega, no matter how you feel about his wrestling style. There's a lot of money to be made if you throw Punk at him, if you throw AJ at him, if you throw Ricochet at him, if you know, it's Dragunov, like all the NXT kids.
Rollins, yeah,
Rollins. Like there's a lot of money to be made off of Kenny Omega. So yeah, maybe
you're not wrong. You're not wrong about that. And
you know what? Fuck it. Maybe I need to make nice because if I want to get out of here, I'm still going to be just young enough that maybe we can do some good business.
Well, and you know what? It's a question, but I mean, do you think he'd be able to handle that schedule though? Because has AEW gone one full calendar year with Kenny Omega not getting injured yet?
No, but
maybe
also,
the first or second year, maybe.
James, do you remember any like long stretch of time where Kenny wasn't injured? Like, I feel like he's always going out on the shelf.
I guess when he was champion, but was he injured during the time he was champion? Well, then again, AEW don't do house shows as well, so that prevents them from getting injured so much. But outside that championship reign, I think he always seemed to have had an injury. Like Awful said, perhaps maybe not the first year, but yeah, like definitely since that title reign, he seems to be more out than in.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, so you have to wonder. WWE would look at that when taking a gamble on somebody, especially somebody they want to put in a prominent position. I mean, the fact that they never pulled the trigger on Punk Omega and AEW, right? I don't remember that ever happening.
No, that was money left on the table, big time. From
goodness.
what I've heard, Punk, I think, was willing to talk to him, and I don't know if it was more Kenny or the Bucks. I think Kenny might have been a little bit more open, but I think the Bucks was like, nah.
Well, in that stream that he did, he made it sound like him and Punk were fine.
Yeah,
like him and Punk have talked, they've hashed it out. Like, and he even like defended Punk a little bit, which was interesting to me. So it sounds more like the Bucks were the ones who were kind of like, oh no, I don't, this ain't happening.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah.
What do you think about Omega's return and how it's been handled thus far? Like, do you think it was a desperation move to bring him back this early, or because what can he actually do? That's the question.
That's the thing, isn't it? They need him back. Like, he's a big miss. I mean, like I said, I enjoy great wrestling. Like, some people like his style, some people don't. I don't mind his matches. Like his matches with, when you watch one or two of his matches with Okada, but when it's the same match over and over, because I hate them 40-minute matches every time. But he's got charisma. He's not the greatest on the mic, but he's definitely got star power to him, in my opinion. Perhaps one of the few AEW wrestlers who has got star power. I would like to see him in WWE. Like Paulo said, these dream matches, like a Rollins, have him go up against AJ, because did he ever do that in Japan when they kicked AJ out? I think AJ, since he got kicked out, he went to WWE. So that's a fucking dream match on the table. Punk, I'm sure they could put that together. And obviously,
Cody.
Omega must be looking at Cody and thinking, fuck, look what they've done with Cody.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I would like to see him join one day, but that's the thing, because he's been injured as well. He's been out for so long. Does that time get added onto his contract because he's missed so much time?
That is the question. And if Tony did that, I would not fault him for that. Kevin Apollo, what do you think about bringing Kenny in while he can't do anything? Do you think it adds to the show? Does it add to the angle with the Elite? Or should we have waited a little bit longer for this?
I understand why they did it. But it was a desperation move. But I get it. It's one of those, I don't know. Do I think it was the best decision? No. But do I think it was the worst one? Also no. You can't fault them for trying. They're trying to tell a story. Kenny is connective tissue. You know, if Tony's going to be out, and you have two EVPs running wild, then you need a counterbalance. You know, and if Kenny's going to play the role of the good EVP, then he has to be on TV.
I couldn't believe they had him bump. They let him bump. I mean, I can believe that he wanted to, but like diverticulitis is not something you mess with, and I could not believe that they let him bump. Do you think?
I think it tells you a lot about how things work in AEW. You know, I mean.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Dr. Nick.
They let they begged CM Punk to work hurt for Moxley. So, you know, they're not above it.
If Tony was smart, he would have had.
Did you feel your brain being damaged? Go ahead, Awful.
If Tony was smart, he would have heated up the Bucks a little bit more than he did. And then you should present Kenny Omega when I guess he is a little bit healthier. But this reign of terror that the Young Bucks are on is not strong enough to bring in any ratings. It's not strong enough to bring in new people. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Oh, bringing in Kenny a little too swiftly, a little too quickly. I think that was trying to be like a ratings grab type of thing with, with everything going down behind the scenes with AEW, trying to get that ratings boom as best they could. A desperation move.
I think that in an invasion type angle like this, like where you've got this like heel group that is trying to take over the company, it's very early to be doing the team AEW versus team Elite match.
Right.
You needed them to do something. And I think they thought that like bumping Tony Khan was going to be like the big thing that like was their earth shattering moment. It was going to be them as like the Joker standing up on top of the car with the blood smile at the end, like the chaos that they were going to bring in. They needed to do something akin to, remember when the Nexus debuted? And they like destroyed Cena and they pulled the ring apart and Danielson got fired because he choked Cena with a tie. Like that they needed something on that level, because I remember after the Nexus debut, everybody was like, "What the hell?" And it put them up in the upper echelon very quickly before Cena very quickly dismantled them.
In one night.
Yeah, I love Edge. When I heard Edge and Jericho talking about that, and they were like, "Yeah, we tried to say that it should go one way, but John's gonna do what John's gonna do," and I'm pretty sure. If you ask John Cena today, he would probably say something like this.
你好，中国，这是叫西娜。我爱更尊重中国，更中国人。我很抱歉对我的错误。
Sorry, I can't go a week without playing that.
So, okay. It's hard to take the Elite seriously when they've already completely gotten rid of the last heel group that we were supposed to take, like Undisputed Kingdom.
Yeah, what happened to that Adam Cole group? What happened to that?
They're still there. They're just fighting amongst themselves about how good of friends they are. Like, that's what happens now. And so it's hard to take them seriously already. But now you're getting into like TNA 2010 territory where you have 4 authority figures on television right now. Because you have both the Bucks, you have Kenny, and Tony's still making matches. and doing videos, and like Edge just said something about Tony made a match for him. So he's still in the mix. It goes back to when you had Bischoff and Hogan, and you also had Dixie. When you have that much power, when you have that many people pulling in different directions, the show is hard to follow. And like I said earlier, you still have Undisputed Kingdom in the background, who is supposed to be the big heel group, who is now being overshadowed by another big heel group, who's fighting Daniel Bryan, who's in a different face group than the face group that he's representing in this match, which, by the way, Eddie Kingston's injured. So you got to find somebody else for that match now.
You know what? What is MJF even going to do when he comes back? There's no way they throw him into an Adam Cole feud at this point. That is it is forgot where I was going with that. Yeah, I just think that they hot dogged it too much. They thought that the bumping of Tony, the bumping of Kenny was gonna be that big oh my god moment, and it wasn't. And yeah, I just think that it's kind of
it's what happens when you live in a bubble. As you can see, Kenny Omega, he's got a little bit of clarity, but it always, it's so funny to me how the guy who was in this bubble, who was doing all the bullshit that AEW is known for, he steps out for a few weeks. He becomes clairvoyant and says the exact same thing that almost everybody's been saying about AEW. And it's just like, well, oh my God, Kenny Omega has spoken and he's gone against the whole tide. Sorry, Kenny. I mean, I don't think, AEW is going to go anywhere higher with you on the show. Even with your illness. And I think your boss, Tony, is feckless and has no concept of how to carry on a storyline that makes people interested in what he's doing.
Awful Wrestling does not forgive or forget Kenny Omega.
No,
it's too little, too late.
I mean, I forgive him. I guess I forgive him, but that fucking the 9-year-old girl and the balloon. I mean, come on now. We can't forget just because Kenny was just like, you know what? I got a problem.
Fight, yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, come on now.
All that stuff. Yeah.
There's a reason why Japanese wrestling is pretty much dead and has been dead, with the exception of the brief resurgence from the original Bullet Club. But Japanese wrestling has been dead since like 98. And has been ice cold, with the exception of what? And how long was the actual original Bullet Club? What was that, like 6 years tops?
Yeah, I mean, they're desperate. They're look at them right now. They even have a character whose entire gimmick is that he mocks AEW with Gabe Kidd. That's all he does is say all this stuff that you see on the IWC about AEW and about their fans.
And that's a work, right? Because I pulled that clip because I wasn't sure if this was a work or whether it was.
I mean, it's his gimmick. It's his gimmick, and he was fighting Eddie Kingston that weekend, and he injured Eddie Kingston. So yeah, it's what he's. I mean, maybe he thinks it for real. I don't know, but it's not something like they're. I'm pretty sure it's something building to Forbidden Door, is my guess. That would
probably.
But they are capitalizing on that sentiment that AEW ruined Japanese wrestling. That's obviously what they're trying to do, and trying to appeal to people who might still give New Japan a shot because they're doing that now. And it's a sad state of affairs though, because there's a lot of talent in AEW. And like, I watched Dynamite last week for the first time in a while. Like from start to finish. The week before I watched it from start to finish. And there was some fun, like the Edge getting sprayed with the crazy mist is kind of silly, but it's fun in a weird way. And I liked the Kenny Omega Young Bucks angle. I know Awful didn't like it at all, but I thought it felt like it was going somewhere. It didn't go anywhere, obviously. But I mean, it went somewhere, but it didn't go anywhere that we couldn't predict.
Right to the brick wall. That's where it went.
But I'm saying they have a way of creating moments that work, and then
Mm-hmm.
I wish they could figure out a way to capitalize on those moments.
Yes.
Does that so?
No, that makes
Yeah.
sense. That makes a lot of sense. All right, I got a couple super chats to get to here. Rex Gardner says rate from 1 to 5 on how hot and good Melina was. I loved Melina. She gets perfect 5s from me. Like, I thought she was great. I was such a fan of hers. I thought she was underutilized, to be perfectly honest. I liked Eminem. I thought they could have gone a lot further with Eminem. James, what do you got on Melina?
Great entrance. Great. She's one of the few people that can actually answer the question of how big was Batista's dick as well. So,
Oh, is she? I did not know that she could.
Yeah,
answer
no,
that
no.
question.
what?
Oh no, you know what? I do remember something about that.
Vince McMahon making sure that Johnny Nitro would ever get a push because he viewed him as less of a man for not handling his business with
That's right.
Batista.
Oh my god, yeah. Kevin Apollo, what do you think about Melina? What do you got on Melina, Kev?
Dude, Melina was awesome. That's just the meat and potatoes of it. Great entrance. Everybody loves Melina's entrance. Everybody remembers when Melina fell off the ring during her entrance. But Melina gave but she gave you good, tough physical matches. She was a great promo. She's just one of those. It doesn't have to be a long reign to be a good, memorable reign. It's she had an awesome run. Awesome run.
And she even got like into almost like near the main event when Mick Foley got weirdly obsessed with her in one of his books, and then they turned it into an angle where she turned heel on him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I remember
weird.
that. Yeah.
Dis, what do you got on Melina? Yeah. What do you have?
She was great for her time. I mean, obviously, I don't. If you just took Melina from back then and put her in right now, she wouldn't be anything compared to what
you don't
they
think
have
she could measure up to what they got now?
No, I mean, not if he spent years training to get to the point, possibly, but if he just took 2009 Melina and put her in wrestling right now, she maybe as a valet or something like that. But for the time, she was great, and she was one of the few women at that time who could cut a good promo.
Yeah.
And that was very, very rare with the diva women.
The
cut good
Diva
promo.
Bella era. There were a bunch of I guess divas from back then where I was like, man, if they like had the opportunity to go against like some of the talent in their prime, go against some of the talent from today, we could have gotten some excellent stuff. I mean, we saw it with Trish. Trish came in and she, put on a clinic, but Victoria, Molly,
Molly,
who was way better than she ever had any right to be and was very clearly trying very hard to improve was Candice Michelle. Remember that?
I interviewed her and I brought that up that a lot of people's when she finally got that singles babyface run of the title, a lot of people was kind of saying like she was, for example, the next Trish Stratus.
Yes.
Started out as just like a valet and then she like really trained. She was over with the crowd, but unfortunately, I forgot if it was a neck. I think it was a neck. She had like a real bad bump and that was it.
Yeah, her body just couldn't handle it, I think.
This is not an insult at all. I'm not disparaging Candice Michelle. She always reminded me of the hot Muppet, Janice.
Wait, you think Janice is hot?
You take that back.
Of the Muppets, she's the hottest.
Of the Muppets.
I mean, come on. I would take Miss Piggy before Janice.
You get a chocolate place. You blaspheme.
Yes, for real. Good Lord.
So I'll answer Rex Gardner's question accurately. She was 5.
She's no
on
Grace
the hot,
Randolph.
and a 2 on good.
Okay.
I don't remember any of her matches at all, nor her big time feuds.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
To try to be fair, listen, Butterfly Belt era, a lot of those girls could wrestle. They weren't allowed to wrestle.
AJ could go.
Yeah.
When you're being trained,
AJ was great.
No, you can go if you're working with Fit Finley every day. And the few times where the girls were allowed to, they never disappointed. Think about how impressive The Lay Cool feud was. That was a 30-second feud that didn't get nearly enough time. But Michelle and Layla kicked the shit out of each other. It was an awesome match.
And Deaver. You got to call her Deaver. Her name is Deaver. Because during the Diva search, she said she wanted to be a WWE Deaver.
Mm-hmm.
So I am especially protective of that era because when the girls wanted to go, they could go. They just never got a chance because it just,
And it didn't look good that the other channel was showing the knockout division,
well,
which was just off the hook.
And you go a couple of channels down to Spike, and the knockouts were tearing it up, and that's why I always scream like TNA was unfairly mistreated because it gave us a lot.
Yeah.
It gave us a lot. And if it wasn't for the knockouts, you would have never gotten the women's revolution.
It's the best run of Sting's career is his TNA run when he's had a match with AJ and Joe and Kurt. I mean, like that it's criminal how that was never appreciated in its time. Not even by me. Like I would, I discovered it all kind of a little bit later on. Uncultured Barbarian checking in with $5 says, I'm so old. We played Atari 2600 in high school and went to the arcade. My first favorite wrestler was Nick Bockwinkel. That is a great favorite wrestler to have, though.
I love Nick Bockwinkel.
Oh, he's ahead of his time. Ahead of his time by far. JPS checking in says, come on. Hold on. He says, bonjour. Good to see James here. I agree, James. Good to have you here. And
thank you.
The fans agree. The listeners agree. John JID 999 checking in says, where is the Adam Cole the Devil angle? Nowhere. Yeah, we talked about that before. It's just gone.
Same place as his muscle mass.
It was never anywhere to begin with.
Yeah.
So that
you stopped drinking the water in Orlando, and now you're a flabby little boy.
Looks
with
50.
Yeah, and his head grew. He also has the JD McDonough head. Little Dinklage head on top of his tiny boy body.
I have always said that JD McDonough looks like if a midget made a wish on a magic lamp to be big, but like did not specify that he wanted to be proportionate. So they just like stretched him and just made him big. Like that, you cannot tell me that is not what JD McDonough looks like.
I was talking a few days ago about how did everybody see the JD Drake spot from?
Yes.
Okay. So I was talking about that and about how like JD Drake is actually a good worker. And but he has that everyman thing where he just looks like somebody, and I was about to say someone who looks like they work at a Jiffy Lube or something like that. But when you say everyman, when you're talking about AEW, you can't say that. You have to say a Jiffy Lube or a Walmart, because the everyman thing there includes guys like Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly who don't look like Jiffy Lube. Like there's a new everyman that you have to mention when you talk about wrestling now.
Right.
And I was really surprised on how much pushback I got saying that Adam Cole looked like he could work at Walmart. But
Adam Cole looks like an activist.
On a hunger strike.
Yeah.
I by the TV during that terrible reality show, and he's like, is this wrestling? Who's this skinny kid with the big head? There's no way someone that small and flabby is saying that they're a wrestler. This is a joke, right? And I'm like, I can't defend it. What do you want me to say?
And I like Adam Cole. I think he's a good performer.
According to Awful, though, Adam Cole should be blocking traffic on a major highway waving a Palestinian flag.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adam Cole has just commandeered a building at Columbia University.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Mike Middleton checking in says, Grace Randolph is greater than Kenny Omega. I'm sure Awful agrees.
Bookmarked.
Adam the week.
Wait, when you asked him how he finds this this comment, he said, well.
No, don't play it again.
Yeah,
no, I will
stop.
not play it again. I'm not subjecting our audience to that again. Don't worry.
Okay.
Shaggy Phil with $5 says, when Awful likes an AEW angle, it's the day I'll give my life to Christ because the rapture's coming. The day that you come in and you are raving about an AEW angle, we are going to have like a party. It's going to be like a celebration because the impossible has done.
I love it because I feel like I come in here and I just wait to Thunderbolt, AEW blows. And then there's Awful to make me feel like, you know what? I could have been harder on them.
there's always a deeper wow to get to the bottom
exactly.
And he's so adamant about it, right? Awful. You know, it's like not only like I when I said a couple weeks ago that I was like, you know, I kind of like that angle at the end of Dynamite. You were like, fuck you. What are you talking about?
It's funny because I saw the first half.
You're oddly defensive about AEW hate too. Like,
it's because
if one of us likes it, you're like, you're out of your mind. Like,
he's writing a book about the end of AEW that is not going to come out until AEW is over. So he's cheering for the end of it. Meanwhile, we have this podcast that, you know, people listen to because of our thoughts on AEW. And if it went away, it might not be as successful. So
as a guy who one of his main draws to his channel is a Tony Khan puppet, I'm really hoping that Awful's book doesn't come out for a long time.
Yeah. You know what cracks me up is the fact that people will go like this. They'll always pretext bashing AEW by going like this. They'll say, you know, I really want AEW to succeed, but let me just trash it for the next 10 minutes or whatever. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Yeah, everybody wants AEW to succeed.
That is always my favorite
that
thing.
you couldn't. There was a time not too long ago that you couldn't say a bad opinion about AEW unless you prefaced it with a good opinion about AEW.
Right.
And if you did, it would be nothing but people attacking you for 3 weeks out from there.
Yeah.
It seems to be reining in, and I don't know if that's because some of the big loud guys are kind of like, well, I don't know about this. Man, that Undisputed Kingdom thing didn't go the way we wanted it to, you know?
My favorite thing is when somebody says, you know, oh, you know, I want AEW to succeed, but or when they say, you know, the business is better with AEW in it. Awful does not take that. He's always like, no,
of course not. They set the industry back 30 years, each and every broadcast that they do. To have any sort of hope, to have any sort of prayer for Tony Khan to somehow wake up next Wednesday and start producing great television is a fool's game. And I love when people are starting to wake up out of their stupid little slumber of like, you know what, Tony Khan, he's not all that. He's not really he hasn't been good since day one, since he let the legless wrestler in their very first battle royal on pay-per-view.
God.
We should have known better.
That was the first thing I saw.
Yep.
When Tooney Talk Wrestling, that was the first thing I saw. I was like, what's this? Now, the only saving grace, that was the first ever time I saw MJF. I had no idea who he was before, and I didn't know about MLW, and I saw him. I was like, right, he looks like he's going to be a star. And I think Hangman won that battle royal, but yeah, you saw the legless wrestler, saw Marco stunt, the next Rey Mysterio.
It was the same battle royal where Brandon Cutler got a big, huge pop when he was introduced. You should have known right then and there, like this was a circus.
It was, yeah. But my question is, did they first get the wrong no-legged wrestler and then have to go back and get the correct no-legged wrestler? Because
they needed to get the 6'5", 265 legless wrestler.
Yes.
Back in the day when I was doing I didn't really do, this wasn't EFED stuff. It was just fantasy booking on a message board. So even dorkier than EFED is where we do a draft of the wrestlers and book them ourselves. And my big thing was that I booked Zach Gowen as my biggest heel because he won the Royal Rumble because you couldn't eliminate him. He just took his leg off.
Christ.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
I love it, but I love that.
They did do that Saturday show though. Ryan.
Yeah, they did. Years later, they did. I was proud of it.
That's amazing. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hold on. I think did we have? No, we did not. All right. Awful. How you feeling?
I feel great. How about you?
You don't feel like you need to go see the doctor?
Uh-oh.
Oh, we're going to the doctor's office. All right,
Because
let's do
it's time, folks. It's time to visit the doctor, Dave Schultz, for our Dave Schultz promo of the week. This is my favorite segment of the week. Here we go. Dr. D, Dave Schultz. All right. Here we go. Back with Mean Gene, as always.
Of course.
Kind
in
of
the
like
AEW arena.
His right-hand man. Oh, my God. Here we go.
The fact that you're going to be meeting the incredible Hulk Hogan in the Meadowlands for the World's Heavyweight title.
You know, when I came north, they told me there was a lot of people up here. They said there's a lot of Americans, true Americans up here. Well, there are not no Americans up here. There's not no true Americans. There's not no people that can stand up for their country, especially you, Hulk Hogan. I don't know who give you...
Okay. Where do you think it's going?
To San Francisco?
That's one thing. He might be going there. Where do you, but like, what are the options here of where he's going? Now, I know where he's going because I screened this first. Why is Hulk Hogan not an American? That is the question. What do you got?
Draft dodger.
Well, you know, draft. All right, we're going draft dodger. I was there in Vietnam. I was up to my knees in rice paddies. I looked around. I didn't see no Hulk Hogan there.
That's what he should say. That sounds like a Dr. D promo.
It does. And then Mean Gene's like, "You gotta be putting me on." Shut up, Gene.
Yeah.
You that name, boy, but where I come,
Here we go.
Well, there are not no Americans up here. There's not no true Americans. There's not no people that can stand up for their country, especially you, Hulk Hogan. I don't know who give you that name, boy, but where I come from, people like you that looks like you, we put them in an outhouse, we lock the door, and we feed them 3 times a day, and we don't let them be seen in public, if you know what I'm saying.
So he's retarded.
We ain't gonna have you coming out here ruining no family portraits, chewing on your knuckles, Hulk Hogan.
Where's the it's the Irish. He's the Irish do not apply or please not apply guy.
He's that crazed girl in Red Dead Redemption 2 that you find in the back of the plantation in the outhouse that's like screaming at you and trying to reach at you through the door.
I'm having you over here licking windows with your waterhead, Hulk Hogan. We don't have no short buses for you, Hulk Hogan.
Oh, is that what it is?
Up and pretend you moved down south.
Well, yeah, like down south when somebody was born, like there was always that trope of somebody's born disabled, and they would just like lock them away and like not let anyone know to bring shame on the family or whatever.
Oh, okay. See,
We don't talk about Uncle Ruckus now.
My mind immediately went to old school Irish racism because he said when you have a look like that and you look like you.
People ask you at church about Uncle Ruckus, you tell them you don't got no Uncle Ruckus. Oh, God.
I don't know who give you that name, boy, but where I come from, people like you that looks like you, we put them in an outhouse, we lock the door, and we feed them 3 times a day, and we don't let them be seen in public, if you know what I'm saying. What do you mean? Oh, just shut up a minute, will you? Your job is to hold this.
There we go.
Gotta teach him his job.
We got the Mean Gene moment of the week. I love the way they play off of each other.
Yeah.
Because Mean Gene can never just hold the microphone. Mean Gene always has to add things.
Yeah.
And it's always and Schultz is the only person that has ever taken umbrage with it. Don't
He's
you
from the
say
old
oh to
school.
me.
If you know what I'm saying. What do you mean? Oh, just shut up a minute, will you? Your job is to hold this mic, baby. Don't be interrupting.
He still
the
means
doctor.
that too.
Now, Hulk Hogan, you gotta admit, a man with 23-inch arms and a head as big as yours and feet as long as yours has got to be classified a freak. Has got to be classified as somebody not normal. I am normal. I am a true American. And when I get you in that Meadowlands, I'm going to hit you so hard, they'll catch you in California speeding, boy. And whenever they catch you, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to drive this hammer in your head, and you're going to lay down on that beach. And then when you get to walking, quit hitting my leg. I know you ain't got enough time, but I got things to say.
On the 11th, kill Wolf, what I missed it.
You don't ever give me...
on.
He's
going
just
I
want to
gotta
say,
ask James. I'd
Sorry,
like to ask: was there anybody in British wrestling that compared to David Schultz?
fuck, that's a good question. Like, well, the sport, I know that was before my time, but fuck.
Like some guy with a real thick Cockney accent, threatening to beat everybody up.
Well, I looked around and I didn't see none of the Queen's men around here. I am one of the Queen's men.
I mean, Bulldog, when Bulldog was wired up, but he was, non-coherent, you couldn't understand the word he was saying.
Hulk Hogan. When you're born in one of our houses, Hulk Hogan, we ship you off to the colonies, we do.
I'll tell you what I do miss, though. I miss Jane. Jane's the greatest, stick man. But then you miss the days when you had these Gene Oaklands and these Gorilla Monsoons and, say, Bobby Heenan's. Now, everyone that grabs a mic, it looks like a fucking catwalk model or someone from a catalog.
Yeah.
I miss the days where you just had these old men who knew how to do their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite thing, when I would watch things from the early 90s, I used to look Kurt Hennig and Rick Rude. It was clearly like an inside joke that they had just decided to do. Whenever they came into an interview with Sean Mooney, the first thing they said was, "Shut up, Mooney." I loved that. I loved the interview. So let's hear him talk about Hulk Hogan's disproportionate body one more time before he ignores the "Bring It Home" from Mean Gene.
Your job is to hold this mic, baby. Don't be interrupting the doctor. Now, Hulk Hogan, you got to admit, a man with 23-inch arms and a head...
Apparently, the pythons grew an inch between here and WrestleMania 4.
As big as yours and feet as long as yours has got to be classified a freak. Has got to be classified as somebody not normal. I am normal. I am a true American. And when I get you in that Meadowlands, I'm going to hit you so hard, they'll catch you in California speeding, boy. And whenever they catch you, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to drive this hammer in your head, and you're going to lay down on that beach, and then when you get to walking, quit hitting my leg. Now, I know you ain't got enough time, but I got
Try to give him the Iggy.
On the 11th, kill Wolf, what I missed it.
You don't ever give me...
The fact that...
Oh, my God, I love it so much. You don't ever give me... This is my favorite segment of the week every week. I really hope we never run out of Dave Schultz promos that I've never seen before.
How many times have you heard a heel bragging about being normal? That's the heel promo.
the heels have eyes, and apparently they got a Hulk Hogan.
You don't see me eating paste.
We throw you a bunch of chicken heads. Oh God!
I ain't licking no windows, Hogan.
You tapping
it's
out?
2 a.m. over here, so I'm going to tap out.
James,
man!
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's super late over there. Tell everyone where they can find you. Everything about Cafe De Rene. Plug away, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me, lads. I've really enjoyed this. Like I said, I've been watching you a lot lately, and it's really fun. So, yeah, great time. Cafe De Rene. Do a show with former WWE superstar Rene Dupree. We do a stream Mondays and Fridays, and we have got some clips out as well. And great fun. We've always got our regular guests who returns, like Paul London and Jason Sensation, for example. But we try and get like a fresh person on. Like we've had Jake on, Rob Van Dam, Cat Angle, which was a fucking dream come true.
Nice.
That was the big one for me. I'm trying to be a professional inside. I'm doing fucking cartwheels.
That was me earlier today.
Yeah, it's amazing. So
I was on a stream earlier today with Dean Kane, and I was like trying to hold Superman. I'm like trying to hold it together. I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Oh no, I'm sweet, Dean Kane. Fuck. No, so yeah, everyone, if you want to head over to that, and I've also started a movie podcast with Paul London. We started it last year, but we kind of went on hiatus for about 6 months. But we've brought it back. So our movie podcast, it's Cinemax, and this week I interviewed. I don't know if you're a Cobra Kai Karate Kid fans, but Mike Barnes, Sean Kanan.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic!
I interviewed him the other day, so that's going to be airing this Thursday. So we're hoping to be building that channel up. So yeah, they're the two channels you can find us. But no, thank you again. That's fun. It's great when just wrestling fans just talking to each other and just like, you know, giving out honest opinions. Like, and like I said, we can, some people, because like we all get hate off, say the AEW faithful. I say they're passionate.
Right.
But because I spoke about this the other day, I think what it is, and I don't blame them, like AEW fans can be passionate or sometimes obsessive. End of the day, and I know we've been shit on, but we do actually want AEW to be better because it's another place for wrestlers to get paid, make money, and the more good wrestling there is, it's better for the business. So that's why we can't help but be critical. And with WWE, we can be critical of them, and we are, but they're doing a lot of good things at the minute. But I think what it is, when I say a WWE fan hears something bad about WWE, they're kind of like, yeah, I can see what they mean. But with the AEW fans, I think they're just so passionate about it, and it's like you can't say anything if they can't admit anything bad about it because people think, oh, they're not an AEW fan. That seems to be the mindset they've got.
I think that it's WWE fans are fans of a product, but AEW fans, I think a percentage of them feel as though they're part of a movement because they defend it the way one would defend like a social movement or a political movement.
Yeah, it's more than wrestling to them. It's like a way of life.
Anti-Fed. Oh my God. Awful. That was good. That was good. Sorry, James. Continue.
That's the new one. Dude, who's stealing that Twitter handle?
Yeah. Almost just broke the chat.
Oh, but yeah, but no, lads, thank you so much. Please, if I haven't followed all of you on social media, just let me know and I'll follow everyone. And I would love to come back whenever you just want me to have.
Yeah,
be back.
whenever you want, my friend. You know what? Maybe one day we'll do something in the middle of the day, so it won't be as horrible of a time for you.
Oh yeah, I'm used to it now, to be honest. So my sleep pattern's been destroyed since.
Yeah, dude. Well, James, you were awesome tonight, and I think you need to get some sleep, buddy.
Well, thanks so much. All right, cheers, lads. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Awesome.
James.
Thanks, James.
Thanks, man.
Oh my God, what a great guy. What a great guy,
man.
what a great guest.
That was cool as shit.
Definitely on the list of come back anytime. But yes, no, the show is not over yet, folks. We are still going. We're going for a little bit longer. I don't know if we'll go a whole other hour, but you know, we'll go part of it. We have another super chat to get to. Shaggy Phil says Hulk Hogan has 23-inch arms and 1 extra chromosome.
Yeah.
Shaggy Phil, you are like on fire tonight. The last thing I wanted to talk about tonight was kind of the main thing that we had promoted talking about, and that is the King of the Ring. I wanted to go through all of the King of the Ring winners, and I wanted everyone to come up with who they thought was the best and who they thought was the worst. Like, and somebody that King of the Ring may have like actually damaged their career, or it was just a weird choice. And for best, you know, who benefited from King of the Ring the most. And so let's go down the. I know I said we were going to start with Brett, but I do kind of want to talk about the other ones. Starting in 1985, Don Morocco 1986, Holly Race. 1987, Randy Savage. 1988, Ted DiBiase. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that Ted DiBiase did. 1989, Tito Santana. 91
his career soared.
and yeah, right. He's a nice guy though. 91 and 93, Bret the Hitman Hart. 94, Owen Hart. 95, Mabel. 1996, Stone Cold Steve Austin. 1997, Triple H. 98, Ken Shamrock. Runner-up being The Rock. A lot of people I found think that The Rock won in 1998.
Nope.
They don't realize that Shamrock won. 1999, Billy Gunn. 2000, Kurt Angle. 2001, Edge. 2002, Brock Lesnar. 2006, Booker T. 2008, William Regal. 2010, Sheamus. 2015, Bad News Barrett. 2019, Baron Corbin. And 2021, Xavier Woods. And we have not had it for the last couple of years. So, folks, if you want to, if you're watching along live and you want to, let us know who you think is the best and worst and why, just put it in a super chat and we will read it aloud on the air. All right. Do you want me to go? I'll go first. I think undeniably the person that gained the most from the King of the Ring was Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's not even a question to me. That's where Austin 316 was born. It was kind of the big like launch point of one of the greatest careers in the history of wrestling. The other one that I could say comes close is Booker T, because that gave us
right out of my
that
Good
gave
call.
us King Booker. I won't talk too much on it. I'll let you go more on that one. But King Booker was a game changer, and you can argue that Austin would have gotten there without the King of the Ring eventually, but Booker T as King Booker, that's what pushed him to the top of the mountain.
Oh yeah.
As for worst, I mean, the easy one to say is Mabel, because that was just a really weird choice. I, however, think you know what, the worst one for me is not worst because it was bad. It's worse because of what it could have been.
Oh,
and
I
the
know
fact
what it
that
is.
it got cut so short, and it's William Regal.
Yep.
Broke
I was
my
going to
heart.
say the same thing. I was going to say the same
King
thing.
Regal. King Regal
Wow.
I was like, oh my God, here we go. This is it. This is the main event push that we've been waiting for decades. And then just nap.
One
Nipped.
of the greatest ends of Monday Night Raw. Regal sitting on that fucking throne, fading to black. And then
So good.
we blow it.
Yep.
You
Was it
blew
a
it.
was it a wellness violation?
Yeah.
It was
Yep.
a wellness violation.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Off of
Yeah.
something
Okay.
bullshit.
All right. All right. Awful. Since you piped it, who is your number one King of the Ring winner?
I think you hit the nail on the head as far as making it work and making it stretch along a long period of time and fully utilizing the whole gimmick was Booker T. Easily. A close second would probably be Harley Race.
Okay. Yeah, King Harley
yeah.
Race.
But as far as the worst, see, we could go Mabel too. But I'm thinking of somebody who it was almost kind of like the King of the Ring would be like a little mini Rocket for Stardom, and where it didn't work out for. You know what? I also give honorable mention to Haku. I just now thought of him. But as far as the worst,
was he King of the Ring?
He did.
Yeah.
He won the crown from someone else. He beat him. in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
wasn't it
You
Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
Crown.
Yeah, I think Hacksaw
Yeah.
beat Harley and Haku beat Hacksaw. And
Right.
Okay, so it was like a title back then that you defended. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. But the one they did the least with was oh man, you had said it.
Do you want me to go through the early 2000s again, the late 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah, it was
again?
like it was the early 2000s, and like Ken Shamrock. Like I
Ken
bet
Shamrock.
you they wanted him to do something, or they thought that it was going to help elevate him. It obviously kind of didn't, because it's obviously a forgettable reign as king. But yeah, those are my two.
All right.
Yep,
Kevin Apollo.
I was going to say, they tried to do that King of Kings match with Shamrock where they brought Mabel back. And it was like kind of a cool concept, but he got lost in the shuffle because that's when you see the explosion of the corporation. And it just by
then Mabel became Viscera.
Was it's like, so by the time like Shamrock winning the King of the Ring was kind of irrelevant because it was just a weird time. There was like, he's kind of a quasi main eventer, but he's never gonna kind of get there because The Rock and Austin own this space right now, and then I guess it's, I don't know, it's kind of hard for me to quantify because I go I think early part of the King of the Ring, like early days of the King of the Ring, there wasn't well, I take that back because Macho King was incredible. But
Macho King, Jesus, forgot about him.
But in terms of like winning the actual tournament, I don't think you do better than Owen. Owen became a old name, and going to that, and that was when the crown also gave you a reward. So we get those incredible matches with Brett. And then after that, again, Austin 316. Austin was already on super fire. You just get that moment that galvanizes everything that was going to come.
Right.
It made it obvious for everybody. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin is the man. Again, it's like I look at it like this: like the King of the Ring meant something from Owen to Shamrock. It starts to fall off. When they don't put the crown on The Rock and put it on Billy Gunn, that's when you kind of see it fall off.
Billy Gunn was another one I was going to mention, is like one that it didn't help him. It just didn't help.
Right.
Like it does. Like it doesn't do anything for Kurt. It didn't do anything for Edge. It didn't do anything for Brock. It was just something.
Honestly,
for them.
Edge winning that title, winning King of the Ring, did more for Christian than it did for Edge. Because remember, Christian would carry the trophy around, and it led to like the Edge Christian split.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
And then after that, like it's King Booker. It's King Booker and King Regal. They put the lust. I think I talked about this on Twitter over the weekend for some reason. It was Regal and Booker who put the shine back on the crown. And then again, you got to give props. King Corbin was awesome. King Baron. I didn't really care too much for Sheamus. He's kind of okay. And then I think out of all of them, just Woods was an abysmal failure. It was.
Yeah, I was upset by that.
Pretended we were going to do this for 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
And then feed him to Roman. They just fed him to Roman.
It just Roman stomped the crowd. Yeah, Roman stomped in the crown, and it was done. And again, it's like one of those. It always comes down to the toughness factor.
It was 2021.
Oh my God, was that even?
No, it was 2021.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Because that was the last time.
So it's like.
So that was pandemic.
And again, look at and it was. We were out of the pandemic at that point. We were but again, that's how much of a fucking failure it was that we had to put it on ice for a couple of years. And again, it's it's just one of those. It's the toughness factor. If you are going to be of a certain spot, as a wrestler, I have to believe that you're a threat to anybody. And the laughy, jokey bullshit, it can only get you but so far. You have to be able to be taken seriously. And again, it's just we did it for G4 cred, and G4 shit the bed. Mostly because of that creepy little demon who wanted to bug everybody. But it just kind of wasn't there. Even King Mabel was a weird choice, but I guess Vince decided he wanted to do something different. I don't know. I know it's my wasn't really very illuminating because I just can't really. I can tell you who the worst was. I'm selfish and don't want to say that I think this one person was the best. Although if you really had to force me, I think Booker made the most of it because it transformed his WWE career and turned him into a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Dis, what do you got for King of the Ring?
I got a couple hot takes, but before
oh no,
it's to that
we're losing him. He teased us with the hot takes, and then all of a sudden he turned into a robot.
I know, that was great, wasn't
Did anybody see this about
next time on Dragon Ball Z?
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, that's better now.
Is that
Who will AEW disciplinary committee pick? Find out on the next exciting episode of Dragon Ball Z.
okay? I'm back.
All right,
This is the next episode.
All right.
Okay. Did anybody hear
Last
anything
time on Dragon Ball Z?
Did anybody hear the thing about Undertaker not putting or wanting to put Viscera in the Ministry? So he didn't have to fight
nothing.
Viscera anymore.
We heard nothing.
Okay. Yeah, he put Viscera in the Ministry because he got tired of fighting Viscera and Viscera hurting him all the time.
Good move.
Okay. With King of the Ring, I really think the best is Owen. I think he defined it, right? Like Brett made it like, oh, look at this cool crown. I won a tournament in one night. Owen made it. He was the King of Hearts. He made it his character.
Right.
And it led into the two-time Slammy award-winning Owen Hart. Like the Nugget, none of that happens without the King of Hearts. And
Booker T doesn't happen without the King of Hearts. I mean, Owen Hart walked so Booker T could run. Yeah,
I was always a big Owen fan too. So having him, even as a kid, I always preferred Owen over Brett. I was the weird kid. So seeing him get it, running with something like that.
It's a three-potter.
In terms of worst, and it's easy to say Mabel, and it's easy to say. Is it doing it again?
You were for a second. You're back.
Hello?
You're back now. You're back now.
Okay,
you're good.
Austin, in terms of worst, and
wait, Austin for worst?
He killed it. He killed the gimmick.
How did he kill the gimmick? Because he wouldn't put on the crown.
He didn't put on the crown. He didn't sell it. He didn't act like it was a big deal.
Yeah, he no-sold it.
He no-sold it. It was a big deal that he beat 3 people in one night, but that was it. And
I mean, and Austin 316 being born that night, but I mean,
that moment,
he didn't do the King gimmick. He didn't but if Austin had put that, could you imagine if he had done the Austin 316 says, I just whipped your ass, but he had a big fluffy crown on his head and a scepter in his hand?
That's why Hunter was supposed to win it, is because it makes sense. But if Hunter would have won it, it might have not. I mean, Kevin, everything that you mentioned about it going away happened the next year after Austin won that thing. And it's because you can't take anyone seriously anymore as the King wearing a crown after seeing what Austin did.
Yeah.
And
I'm with you. I'm with you. I hardly count him as a winner other than the Austin 316 moment. Just because and I know people might be upset about it, but in all honesty, because listen, I feel fairly certain that Gunther is going to win this thing on Saturday. I kind of would like to see Gunther also no-sell the crown.
Yeah.
I don't really want to see King Gunther. I like the ring general. And as a performer, it doesn't make much sense that Gunther would embrace being King Gunther. And
Chancellor Gunther, that would be awesome. Just full, World War II, 1940s regalia.
I was just about to say, I'm like, and I don't know if 2024 sensibilities would allow us to go where we should be going with this.
Yeah.
Sheamus made this joke and the internet freaked out.
Yeah. I was like, Dan, that was actually really funny. But
it was, and I'm like, look, the people that are freaking out are the people that call literally the person that cuts them off on the highway Hitler.
With the hard R.
Everything is sexist. Everything is racist. Everything is homophobic, and you have to point it all out.
Oh God.
Said Hitler with the hard R, yes. Oh God.
Unbelievable.
Right. So you say Austin for worst, and who was your best? Owen.
I loved the way you ran with it, and I mean, I liked the idea of the crown being a title. That old 90s or 80s cliche, thing they did where it would pass from guy to guy, and they would make it their gimmick. I mean, I remember King Hacksaw.
Oh yeah, he did more than that.
Yeah,
with
do you remember
than Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah. Do you remember WCW's ripoff though, the Lord of the Ring, where they would give you the actual
God.
ring?
Oh,
no. The only one I remember.
It was World War III.
Was
They
it
gave a
World War
ring-
III? I thought it was
No,
it was the Battle Bowl.
Battle Bowl,
DDP
Battle
won it
Bowl.
in the
Holy
DDP
shit.
won it in the Battle Bowl.
Yeah, it was battle.
then
Yeah, it was
he-
Battle Bowl.
Yeah,
And then he lost it. He lost it to Duggan. I think. Pretty sure.
What do you guys
That
think
was
about
the
the Queen of the Ring? Should that even be in existence?
I mean, look, you have to at this point because, but the calling the pay-per-view King and Queen of the Ring does not have a good ring to it.
No, and why do it when you have a Saudi pay-per-view named Crown Jewel?
I know.
I get it. I get it. The girls get the fucking thing too. Give me a fucking break. Jesus. I got it. Your fucking revolution was 10 years ago. Shut the fuck up.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't mind them doing it separately. I think
Yes.
when you combine
its own
the
show?
two, yeah, when you combine the two, you definitely make it seem like the King of the Ring is more important. If you would
Yeah.
break it out and do it as its own thing, maybe in NXT where there is a more competitive women's division than on the main roster, that might be a way to solve it. But I think combining the two does nothing for the women. Although I will say the women's matches in the tournament so far have been entertaining.
Oh yeah,
and
they've been good.
Yeah, great.
So it's hard to
think-
complain about that.
I think one of the gimmicks should be like kind of like they should pair up the King and the Queen of the Ring and do like a Macho Man Sensational Sherry type of deal where they just for an entire year have to feud with, I don't know who the hell they feud with, but make it something, make it actual, that these guys have to, be in the same, orbit as each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same
remember,
storyline.
This is only the second Queen of the Ring, I believe, because Zelina Vega is currently the only Queen of the Ring. It started in 2021, and Zelina Vega in that tournament, she beat Toni Storm, she beat Carmella, and then she beat Dewdrop, now known as Piper Niven, to win that tournament. And that was also in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
I just don't understand why you don't just call the thing Crown Jewel for the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. Like,
Yeah.
the King of the Ring is not that much of a seller,
Yeah.
right?
The logo doesn't even look nice.
Listen,
Saying King,
they always wanted it to be. It was always supposed to be. It just never. Again, we get it. If you're winning King of the Ring, that means you're being primed to have the rocket strapped to you. But as a pay-per-view, it was just always kind of one of those like, oh, I got another fucking pay-per-view to get.
I loved it when I was a kid. I loved the idea of a one-night pay-per-view, watching these guys wrestle multiple times and they get the crown at the end. I loved it. It was just once you got into the point where it's like, okay, we're going to do 2 matches or 3 matches from the tournament. Okay, we're going to do just the finals of the tournament.
Yep.
And then eventually,
I love a one-night tournament. I think a one-night
Yeah.
tournament is a great concept that never gets pulled out anymore. That's why I love, like, I know everyone hates it, but I have a soft spot for WrestleMania 4 because I loved the one-night tournament aspect. I loved watching the Macho Man wrestle 3 times.
Yeah, I got to go to the Survivor Series Deadly Games, which I think is their last one-night tournament. Am I wrong?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, Deadly Game.
Yeah, and
my
that was awesome being there in person.
You
But
were
then,
there for greatest night in wrestling history. Like Vince Russo's crowning moment was Survivor Series Deadly Games.
Yeah, it was so expertly written. Really, when you look at it, just how many storylines were interwoven in that tournament and all came together at the end with The Rock turning heel and
the Rock.
I mean, wait, not The Rock turning heel, Foley turning heel.
Yeah.
But no, who turned heel?
No, The Rock turned heel. The Rock turned heel.
That's right.
Foley.
You had the issue with The Rock. You had the issue with Foley. You had the issue with Austin, Shane. When they paid off the Shane McMahon thing. Oh my God! When Shane McMahon stopped counting and flipped off Stone Cold Steve Austin, everyone's stomach dropped at the same time.
Yeah. And Foley had turned heel going into it and turned face coming out of it because he was the corporate choice as the champion going in.
He wasn't really a heel, like he wasn't doing anything heelish. He was just kind
Right,
of like
he was
just a dope that was being led around by Vince McMahon, like being manipulated.
He was what Eugene was. Yeah.
He's kind of really Eugene. With the King of the Ring, the two things that I think of when I hear King of the Ring have nothing to do with the King of the Ring. I think of Foley coming off the cell, and I think of Shane McMahon going through the glass.
Yes.
With Kurt. King of the Ring was a time for some brutal matches.
During the Attitude Era, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That Kurt Angle Shane McMahon match. That was the first one where you were like, oh, okay, so Shane can do this.
Right. It's one of the few matches that Shane McMahon is in where you can rewatch it.
I don't know. I've rewatched him tear his quad at WrestleMania many, many times.
Oh yeah, that was a funny spot.
And Snoop Dogg calling the audible.
Yeah. And dropping the point of his elbow right in his sternum on the Miz.
Fantastically done. Oh boy.
He had a really good match with X-Pac. That is
yes.
That
is a criminally undervalued match.
WrestleMania 15?
I do remember that. Yeah.
For some reason,
good matches. Shane had some good fun matches.
When I was at
classics, but they were fun.
When I was a teenager, for some reason, I loved DX, but I hated X-Pac. And I could not understand. I was the one person in the world that was rooting for Shane McMahon at WrestleMania 15.
I liked him all the way since he was the Lightning Kid. He was awesome.
I went to a show one time and I had a sign, and on the front of it, it said X-Pac can't read this sign. And on the back of it, it said Austin 316 said I just beat my wife. And
Jesus Christ.
I got a beer thrown at me for doing the Austin one. So then I turn it around and I had the X-Pac one, and
wait, you're the one holding this sign?
Yeah, I was holding it. Yeah, it was me.
I assumed that you were like this guy in the crowd had it. I didn't realize this was you with the Austin 360.
So I had the Austin sign, and everyone's booing me, and they threw a beer at me. So then right after the beer threw at me and it hit the sign, I turned the sign around and it says X-Pac can't read the sign. And the same people all started cheering and lifting their beers up.
Started throwing you towels.
The highest of highs and the lowest of lows. Oh my God. Oh boy. All right. We've exhausted this topic, but real quick, not a wrestling thing, but did any of you happen to catch the roast of Tom Brady on Netflix last week?
I just missed it.
Oh, I watched it live, and oh man, comedy came back that night. Like comedy made a comeback for one night.
They've never left that roast.
It was amazing. Like so many of them came out there, and there was one person in the world who really, really didn't like it, and that person was Tom Brady. From the first joke.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dis.
I was gonna say a lot of people on Twitter the next day did not like it. I was overwhelmed by people talking about how disgusting it was and how it put comedy back 20 years and blah blah.
No, it brought it brought comedy back 20 years to when it was good.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
People didn't know how to act because what's her face
Kardashian.
No, the female comedian Nikki Glaser.
Lampanelli?
No, Nikki Glaser.
Okay.
They had no idea what to do with Nikki Glaser because she was making some horrific jokes, but she was also a woman. So like they couldn't really like freak out at it too much. It was amazing.
Did she kill?
Man, she killed.
Okay.
I would say top 2 of the night.
Nice.
The top one was Tony. What was his name? Tony Hillcrest. He's got like the #1 like live podcast in the world.
All right.
Hinchcliffe, Tony Hinchcliffe. You need to watch this. It is 2 minutes of savagery. Just
You mean
and
Jeff
even-
Ross wasn't the top billing?
No, Jeff Ross comes from the planet Trying Too Hard. I think that was a joke.
Oh,
made at one
okay.
of them. He came out dressed as O.J. Simpson, of course, because he's always got to wear the stupid costume. And I'm like, Jeff, you're a funny guy. Why are you
going the Carrot Top route?
Yeah, man. But Jeff Ross said a joke. So this was the one joke they were making. Look, they're making jokes about Tom Brady's wife the whole night. They're making every joke in the book. And the one joke that got to him, Jeff Ross made the joke. You know, like the story when Tom Brady walked into what the hell's the guy? Matt, what the guy, the owner of the Patriots? What's his name, Kev?
Robert Kraft.
What the hell was I talking about? Robert Kraft, yeah. Matt Walsh. What was I talking about? Robert Kraft. I don't know. I just pulled two names out of my
Most
hat.
Wanted.
Yeah. He walks into Robert Kraft's office and says, drafting me was the best decision you've ever made. And Jeff Ross said that. He said that drafting me was the best decision you've ever made. Now, would you like a massage? And Tom Brady gets up out of his seat, walks over and says, don't ever say that shit again.
Oh, was he serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh,
like Will Smith serious?
Yeah, Will Smith serious, but without actual like bodily harm being committed.
Right.
Go out of your way to see it, folks. They edited it out. Kim Kardashian got Dominic Mysterio heat. John J.
That's the one I heard about.
Yeah, John J. ID 999 with Super Chat. Thank you so much. Says it just wasn't Kevin Hart's night. Definitely not. Kevin Hart was criminally unfunny. It was like after every set, you know, like at the end of every set, the roast master will like just introduce the next person. Maybe they'll like take a little shot. Kevin Hart did a full reaction video for everyone. He's like, "Damn, Nikki, when you said that line about that thing,
oh God,
man, that was funny. That was funny. That was good. That was good." Gronk was drunk and high off his ass. It was just amazing. It wasn't Kevin Hart's night. Glad to see a lot of really funny stand-up comedians like Andrew, Nikki, Tom, and Bert do the thing. Tom hated it. Yes, I agree. Kevin Apollo just texted me. Billy Corgan says the NWA has signed another TV deal. That's breaking news.
With who?
I don't know.
He has not announced. But it will be in conjunction with the CW app. Hopefully, we don't have the Sinister Minister snort cocaine.
I think they've learned their lesson there. Just kind of interesting that the NWA has found a new TV home and AEW still has not.
It's called Bing.com.
Well, yeah, rumor has it that tomorrow at the upfronts there will be no mention of AEW. That is the rumor.
Who could have guessed?
I don't want to get too deep into the upfront thing, but if they haven't come to a decision, then obviously they're not going to talk about them on the upfronts. Like that's you know.
Sure.
I just honestly though, I don't know where they go. Like, forget everything else. Forget, getting deep into the negotiations and talking about if they're worth it or whatever. They're going to find another home. Tony Khan's not going to let this go under just by this. Where do they go? Is there anyone out there who would want them? Would Tony pay to get them on national TV, or would he go back to YouTube or go to a subscription service? Like,
I don't think it's going to come to that. I think they will. I think they will get when push comes to shove. Tony will take whatever they give him. I think he's playing hardball right now, but I think that he wants to stay there because that's what WCW was. Now, the one thing that I could see him playing hardball about is if the hang up point here is we're moving you to True TV.
Yes,
we're taking you off TBS and TNT. That I could see him fighting back about because.
Didn't TNT not get the NBA? So I think they lost.
It's rumored that they are not getting it, or that they're not getting all of it.
They can still match, but everyone's saying NBC offered way too much.
$2 billion. WB ain't built. WDB isn't built like that right now.
Yeah. I mean, they're tens of billions of dollars in debt already. So
yeah.
Comcast has got so much money after they fleeced Disney over the Hulu deal, and they are just throwing that money everywhere, whether it's their theme parks, whether it's their movies. And the gap, I mean, the gap between Disney and Universal NBC, it is shrinking with every day. And man, oh man, Comcast is making major plays. And look, Peacock, on the pro show today, we talked about like the list of all of the like what percentage of the market share each streaming service has. Peacock was pretty low on the list. But what was really interesting, Tubi is set to overtake Disney Plus in the next quarter.
Yeah, Tubi's crazy.
Dude, I talk about it all the time. The Murdochs made Iger look like an effing fool.
We talked about it on Pro Show today. Yeah, I said the same thing. They fleeced him.
Yep.
Please explain this. I'd love to hear this.
So essentially, Tubi is a Fox app. And they were like, you know what? We're going to sell Disney all of our content. Take it all. Take it all. We don't want it. And then we're going to make our own. They see Disney Plus launch. They see immediately that it's hemorrhaging money, and they go, "Well, we can make our own app, and we won't be fucktards about it. We'll just throw a couple of commercials on there."
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden it blows up, and people don't really care about the 32 seconds of commercials that you get. And now Disney starts paying them to start showing their old shit again. Mm-hmm. So now Tubi is immediately making more money than everybody else. And now, 4 or 5 years later, they have WB Discovery stuff. They have Disney stuff. Like, people are rushing to Tubi, and it's a free app with a tremendous library, not including all the dog shits on there. That app has some of the greatest terrible movie content you could ever watch.
Mm-hmm. Has a lot of indie films too. A lot of indie films. I think Chris Gore's documentary is on there. I think
they have the MST3K channel.
Yeah,
you can watch. Yeah, Mystery Science Theater 3000. Whenever you want.
Like, amazing. Tubi was this tremendous little find that nobody knew they had during the pandemic, and is now turned into the premier app. While Disney Plus is just bleeding money everywhere, and they can't help themselves.
Producer AEW Neckbeard says Tubi has old wrestling, B horror movies, blaxploitation movies. It's the best.
Yes.
You know what? I would something like Tubi, like, do you think Tony Khan would ever consider something like Tubi, or would the NWA consider something like Tubi? Because it's on the rise.
Listen, I would tell you, if I was a wrestling company that had a little bit of money to produce a more high end show than your standard, average indie horse shit, instead of bullshitting and cramming my stuff onto the Fight app, where it's only the same 8 fucking neckbeards who are watching your show, I'd be trying to figure out how to get on something like a Pluto or a Tubi, because TNA is on Pluto. It's you can get caught up on TNA content. And there's amazing shit. During the pandemic, I watched what the hell was it? That Urban Championship Wrestling. I watched someone get shot in a drive-by while watching a wrestling.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't believe I just saw this, but I'm gonna watch it because I don't have shit to do. I think it's the way to go.
You talk about the fact that people are cutting the cable cord more than ever. Not as many people have cable anymore. But then you now look at it. Tubi is free. Could it possibly be that AEW could get more viewers on something like Tubi that everyone can get for free?
Yeah. You know what? I think who just recently launched a Tubi alternative competitor is Amazon.
Did they really?
Amazon has Freevee now.
Oh, that's what Freevee is?
Yeah. Okay. It's their Tubi competitor. But something like AEW might fit in well, where premium, you can watch it and not have to deal with commercials and watch the show live, or you can wait and it'll go on the Freevee thing, or they could even put it on Freevee and do the picture-in-picture or just cut for commercials. But it gives them 2 points of entry there instead of just the 1. And Amazon was bidding on WWE, so they might actually be interested, and especially if Amazon does everything Netflix does. And with them going and having that, I could see Amazon being a decent little home for AEW. I don't think they're going to make as much as they would have paid WWE, obviously. But I think that, and also they can do whatever they want there. They don't have to worry about the content stuff. And they're really hard on, they don't like that they can't curse and they want to show, all kinds of crazy stuff. On Amazon, they can do that with no problem and don't have to worry about it. So I think Amazon is going to be a player in this more than people think they are. I've seen people say Disney Plus, which will never, ever, 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 ever happen.
Well, I mean, Disney Plus has all the Hulu content. And, like there's things on Disney Plus that you would never expect to see on Disney Plus because of Hulu. Like I watched My Hero Academia on there.
Yeah.
Like all these different like animes and stuff that you were like, why is this like Buffy and Angel? Like, why is this on here? But it's because, it's Hulu.
Here's the thing. Disney didn't buy DC because it was cheaper. They wanted Marvel. They don't want to be in business with the second biggest wrestling company.
I would agree. And I think if Disney wanted wrestling, they would have done it a long, long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
I think that now you're seeing a lot of these streaming services banding together. Like there's going to be a Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max like package that you could buy, like a combined
a bundle
for all three. And there's going to be a bundle for Peacock, Netflix, and Apple TV Plus. I think it's Netflix.
Yeah, a lot of people are calling it
Apple.
Cable 2.0.
That's it. It's now if you have all these streaming services, your fucking streaming bill is higher than your cable bill now.
Yeah,
right.
This is true.
Like you're. I think we're about a year out from the streaming apocalypse because something's got to give. I understand this is to me this is tantamount to the We Are the World music video with all these streaming services trying to come together to save their asses. But at the end of the day, Disney is flat broke. Paramount is flat broke. WB is flat broke. The only people who seem to have money are Comcast. And Peacock is just for shits and giggles. And as long as they have sports, they know they can hang.
And The Office. Yeah. They have sports in The Office. So
The Office is the big one because that was what Netflix was championed for so long with The Office.
Mm-hmm. I think it's funny. I said a long time ago that one day there's going to be one box and one subscription and one cord that comes into your house, and it's going to go to that box, and you're going to be able to go to it, and you can watch any of the subscription services that you want, and it's all under one banner, and it's going to be exactly like it was 15 years ago. And I know
they'll call it Commicast.
Commicast. Wow, you come up with Commicast and Antifed in the same episode. Awful. You are just like a treasure trove this week. Who woke you up?
I think the deal will not be made with obviously WDB. That's my guess. Backed up by bullshit. Because everything,
I still think they're going to do it. I still think WDB is going to re-sign him. I do.
And I'm curious, why do you think they're going to re-sign them at a deal that's going to make sense for AEW?
I don't know. Look,
I don't think whatever deal they get will make sense for AEW. It'll be.
But they're trying to make money with this next deal. This is the thing that's going to try to make them profitable. So anything less than profitability, it's going to be real tough for Tony to say yes to.
He might start giving up ownership.
Awful. Let's make a little wager here.
Sure.
If WBD re-signs AEW, then on Patreon, you and I will sit and I will force you to watch a marathon of AEW matches that we'll put up on Patreon. If WBD does not sign AEW, you and I will go on Patreon and I will watch a marathon of Grace Randolph.
Oh,
I'll take you up on that bet. Why not?
All right. There we go.
Why not? There's no money involved, so let's do it.
But I see a lot of people are commenting on Disney and like the implosion that Disney's kind of going through in WBD. If you guys like the idea of talking more about comics and movies and TV and all that other stuff, we are launching a new channel, which is going to be called excuse me, Tooney Town TV. And that can be found currently over at youtube.com/@TooneyTownTV. And so that's going to have new content on it coming soon. But also next week on Thursday, we are launching Tooney Talk TV, which will be coming from this account from Tooney Town Wrestling.
Look at Kev.
Kevin and I are gonna just go through all the entertainment news of the week, and we're gonna bitch about movies and comics and obviously awful this. If you guys want to stop in, anybody else wants to stop in, you guys can do that as well. So that'll be next Thursday. That's gonna be May 23rd. Make sure you're there for it, folks. Then we'll be chopping it up and putting it on the movie channel. I will say there is a Bob Iger puppet under construction on my workbench right now. It's one of the two. I've already got his entrance song, like his TK rap, basically worked out, and it's gonna be. I said it on WW Pro earlier, so I don't feel weird saying it now. It's gonna be who's the leader of the world's most evil company? ROBEATIGE, Bob Iger, Nelson Peltz, Bob Iger, Nelson Peltz.
Hey, save that goal for next week, Marv.
But yeah, I'm gonna do that. Then the next one, there's gonna be a Zack Snyder puppet. Like, there's gonna be a lot of stuff coming, folks. I'm doing a lot of stuff.
Since I kind of get ragged on Grace Randolph, could you go back to that graphic right before the one? Because I swear it said Hollywood.
Did it really?
Now, I'm not the best speller in the world myself.
Oh, no.
I mean, we have a thing in the chat where I'm just terrible at it. But yeah, I know what I saw, goddammit. And it said Hollywood.
Yep, Hollywood. The Hollywood monsters. Oh, my God.
No, that's on purpose. He's not talking about Hollywood. He's talking about himself. That's what
gotcha.
Yeah, no, it is the Hollywood. It is the I'm not gonna make a joke about that. I was about to go somewhere. Kevin Apollo is frozen in laughter right now, which is amazing.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes, but you're like you're like frozen in an open mouthed laugh, and it's hysterical.
He's got the Uncle Ben's look going on.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, I love it.
I like how it's not even correcting itself. He's still in that phase.
I'm okay with it just staying like that for the rest of the time.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Positive Kev Apollo.
Yes. Happy Kevin Apollo. It's a new character here on the show. Everything's great. It's the Kevin Apollo that I remember from the time when Luke Skywalker showed up on The Mandalorian. That was the last time I heard pure, just genuine joy out of your voice.
Yeah. Let's ask a question about AEW and see how long that smile lasts on his face.
It'll literally break, like cracks forming in it.
A QR code is going to show up.
These are my favorite parts of the show. Oh man! All right, I'm about done, guys. What do you think? You guys got anything else you want to bring up?
Nah.
Oh, God, what? I think we're done.
Follow War Dog Apollo. Follow AEW Disciplinary Committee. Damn it, on Twitter. Check them out. Follow Marvin the Movie Monster as well.
Nah, you don't have to follow me. I hate Twitter. Just subscribe to the channel and we'll be good. Subscribe to that and just subscribe to the new movie channel at Tooney Town TV on YouTube. And remember, next week we're back here with Tooney Talk Wrestling, and then on Thursday we're gonna have Tooney Talk TV. So come on out, folks. It's gonna be a fun time.
And like this video
yes.
that you're watching right now.
Yeah, really.
Yes,
hit more like. Hit that like button. Damn it.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, that does it for this week for Kevin Apollo, Awful Wrestling, AEW Disciplinary Committee, and James from Cafe De Rene. I'm Marvin the Movie Monster. Now get out of here!